We are
Hey,
live.
what is
Yes.
up?
What's going on, guys?
We are definitely,
How's it
we are
going,
definitely
guys?
live. I don't like to say and we're live. I don't like to say that because I don't.
That's why I didn't say anything.
I don't like to do that. It's just whatever anyone else does, I try not to.
There you go.
Let me shut herself down here on the laptop so I can bullshit everybody. But yeah, welcome everybody. We got Zodiac Z. What's going on,
What's
man?
up,
Haven't met
Zodiac?
you yet. Nice to meet you. Hey Todd, what's going on? Russell, what's up?
What's up, Russ? What's up, Todd?
Hey, what's going on, Eric? How you doing, man?
Hey, Eric's here. What's up?
Yeah, thank you for joining us, guys.
Yeah. So far, we got Lady J. What's up, Jay? How you doing? Thank you, thank you. And yeah, welcome everybody to basically it's the way it's pronounced is Trey Canali Rimbalzo, which basically means the three channel balance where we bounce from week to week to each of our channels. Um, whoever it's going to that next week to their channel, they pick the film, we watch it. Throughout that week, we come back, we all three come together and we discuss
Yep.
it.
As the huge horror, the huge Italian horror nerds, I feel, of this community, we've been trying to put this together for a while. So now we finally got it down, and this is definitely going to be fun. Just even exploring movies in the Italian genre that we ourselves have never seen before.
There's
So
lots
we
I
can.
haven't seen, man. So
Yeah,
I'm
me
looking
too.
forward to
Yeah. Like besides from like the greats like Arlo Argento and Fulci and Bava and Lamberto Bava and Diodato and a few other directors like films here and there are there's definitely a lot more a lot that I have to dive down into.
I really wanted to
Yeah.
kick it off with a Martino. I don't think Martino's talked about
Uh,
enough. I think
no,
he's
he's not.
celebrated enough. And the film tonight, Torso, also known as Carnal Violence, is I think one of the best that there is out there. I don't think anything anyone's ever done is if it's better, it's not much. I'll just put it that way. This
Oh,
this
it's
this goes
for
places that none
sure.
of them go.
It's definitely up. Like I said, definitely in the top. I put it in top 5 Giallos.
Yeah, and,
Like
and
just
watching
pure
it cemented,
Giallo film for sure.
watching it cemented
Yeah.
that shit too. I forgot how good it was, man. You know what I mean? It's
Same
so
here, yeah.
smart, so smart, man.
Well,
And
Like
I think
Torso's really like it's. I really think it's one of Martino's signature giallos. It really is.
yeah.
absolutely.
Like he's made so many too. That's like another reason why I say that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he has. He was like one of the kings of giallos, kicking off. And especially, we were saying that backstage that this is also referred to a lot of times as the first slasher film, and it goes. You hear that a lot with Italian horror because the line blends so much between giallo and slasher. But
Mhm.
I always hold it personally to Bava's Twitch of the Death Nerve as the first slasher, especially when you look at like
Yes,
Friday the
it is.
13th, how inspired to the point of directly stealing a kill or
Yeah.
two from Twitch of the Death Nerve. But I mean, this was right the year after, probably was a film the year right after that. So this is right there, and you have Bird with the Crystal Plumage from Argento 2 years before this also. So this is pretty early on, like in the
Which has
explosion of giallos.
which got the same girl in it. It's Susie Kendall in
Yeah.
both.
Yep.
Susie Kendall, man, I did not realize how fucking good Susie Kendall was until that toward that ending scene, guys. This
Oh
chick,
yeah, she's
man,
great in this.
yeah. I really think that this is, most people, I don't think they're meaning to insult a giallo or an Italian film, but I think they look at them as simple. They look at them as they don't make sense. They
Mm.
look at them as they just kind of thrown together for the gore or whatever, or just for the mystery to pop out with the who's done it at the end. But this one's completely different. This one, this one definitely shoots that down, kicks that right the fuck down, in my opinion, because this motherfucker is. There's so many things I noticed at the end that is so smart that they do. So smart from a character. We talked about taking things from a character standpoint, right?
Yeah.
From a character standpoint, this is a smart motherfucker. He's batshit, but he's fucking smart.
Oh, he's calculated as hell. He's not your just typical like psychotic killer who's just acting off in like emotion and as soon as they do something stupid, they mess up and they get caught. This guy's thinking throughout all of this.
Right, and it's a perfect setup, man, for her at the end, where she can't get out. She's been injured, so she can't run. There's bars on the window, so she can't get out that way. And he just follows that shit up by locking her in her own fucking place and continuing to torment.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
she goes through some shit by the end of this movie. Like, and the score, let me say this, the score, I forgot how great the fucking score is in this movie.
Right.
The score is damn good, especially like they have like this piano motif, this like one note at a time, and then it climbs up chromatically like every so often. It's very
It's like a
simple, but
rumbling. It's like a
yeah,
constant rumbling. It just builds on top of it.
yeah, it's
That's
really
cool.
really good. And then once the
Carries all
killings
the way through
start,
it.
well, yeah, once the killings start, then it just amps up even more and stuff. The score really surprised me. I forgot how great it was in this. Very
Yeah,
good soundtrack to this.
the redheaded chick, Daniela, at one point even goes to the piano and is playing it.
Yeah,
So you know what I mean? Which I thought was really cool. Very self-serving part there.
you
I
don't see that
still do.
often. That's true. You don't see that often. A score from a film being played in the film. That's
Yeah.
interesting, actually.
The women in this. That is one thing I always remembered about this. I hadn't seen it for a while. But one thing I first noticed about this film, and then one thing I've always remembered, and one thing once again it started, I was like, everyone from the very first chick in the car with the dude, the Florence, I think her name was from the beginning.
Yeah.
Threesome. I noticed, the body, they're all just so fucking beautiful, and every woman in this.
Oh yeah, they all are gorgeous women, and this is definitely like I think I saw in your description. It's definitely an ultra sexual film. Like there is a lot of sexuality in this film, and just the way that he kills his victims too is has just a lot of sexuality you don't see in your typical giallo or slasher even. Like this guy just like he prefers to strangle his victims with the like handkerchief bandana type thing, then mutilate them afterwards, which is I think is very interesting and a ballsy choice for 73. Like that's going there, like killing someone and then mutilating their bodies. Definitely unique.
He's definitely a big man, isn't he?
Yeah, oh for sure. They start to cuts that one chick cuts right through like from her body all the way down. And good effects there too.
My favorite chick in this is the one that's at the party. What I look at basically as is a dope smoking
yeah, it's a crazy scene.
Orgy. The dope smoking orgy.
Yeah.
And she's there and she's not even noticing these two. These two are hot as fuck all over, you know what I mean? And she's just like smoking on this joint. And and then finally go, here, just take this off. And she's like, you first. And then she fucking does the most fucked up thing.
Yeah,
and
she's
then
like, oh, you disgust me. She walks away.
Well, remember, just before that, her older man that she was seeing or whatever was cutting it off with her, so she didn't really give. She was down anyway.
Yeah.
But I think she's absolutely the hottest chick in this whole film. That chick.
No, yeah, she is. And that was a funny ass scene too. And that's the only way I put it. I typed out some notes while I was watching it. I literally put orgy scene ? That's funny. She's just sitting there. Yeah, she's stoned out of her mind, like just smoking, like she doesn't have a care in the world. And these two guys are groveling all over her. And then she's like, "You sick of me? Get out of here."
Yeah. They leave go, I'm gonna strangle her. I'll choke her to death. I was like, damn, dude, chill. I understand all the food. Then I'll just fuck her. Let's leave. And then she just tried to get. She doesn't realize that she's walking right into some fucked up shit, which I thought was really creepy, really cool.
The atmosphere is great in the woods.
Yeah, dude, like that whole underground, that underground lodge where they're just having that massive orgy.
Yeah.
Like, and how it all builds up to that kill too, dude. It's really good shit. It's got style.
Oh yeah, the atmosphere in the woods and stuff is great. Up to when she gets strangled. He puts her head down, and drowns her in the puddle, and then he flips her over, starts touching her tits and shit too. Like definitely, this guy's got issues for sure.
But you know what? Like speaking of that scene, like my only issue with that is I feel like Sergio Martino uses that kill a little too early in the film. because it's
Yes.
around like the 22-minute
It
mark
is,
or
yeah, it's earlier
23-minute
on.
mark, something like that. I kind of wish it was a
Depending on the
little bit
version you see.
further, but it doesn't like make the film bad or anything. I just wish
Yeah.
that film was a little bit deeper into the film.
I get what you mean, because they could have honestly, because I like what the whole stuff with the blackmailer, like with the guy who sells the handkerchiefs and stuff, and his whole thing, and then he ends up getting killed. They could
Right.
have had him get
That's
killed first, then had that kill
yeah,
take
yeah,
place afterwards,
right.
Right.
because that
But
would
I
have been
I
a
just feel
nicer
like that
build.
kill is like so epic for me in that movie, and it's like nothing really can like top that kill once I see it.
Yeah,
One thing I noticed
that
was
would be a way around it. But then you'd have to shuffle the stuff with the blackmailer. But it could have been done, because I agree that's probably my favorite kill in the movie too.
one thing I noticed about the killer is he could only touch her pits so long, and then he had to cut.
Yeah,
It's like
it's
once he got all excited, that's the first thing that came to his mind is now I gotta cut her. I can't keep, you know what I mean? It's like when he
yeah.
got turned on, that's when he cut.
Yep,
That's
and
what you know what I mean?
that's his whole thing. It's just it's a sexual, it's a
That
complete
razor is his dick.
sexual thing for him
The
to
razor is
murder.
his dick. Yep.
Yep, it's a
Yeah, dude, he just
great use.
completely like he just totally violates that girl to the fullest.
Yeah.
Oh
And they
yeah,
do it kind of off camera too. All you can see is her arm with some blood going down it, which was a really cool choice, really smart choice, I thought.
and the way that just, and you see this in a lot of Italian horror, and I've talked about it on plenty of videos on Fulci movies and stuff. The way that they just focus on like kills and drag it out. Like if this is like a Friday the 13th movie, it'll be just like a quick thing, like to the face, cut, next scene. Like the Italian directors knew how to keep it in your face, and
Yeah.
you know it's coming, but they'll keep on shooting and making the tension build up until you're just like, all right, just do it already, and then they'll do it. And they're so good at doing that, like especially like as a Fulci and Argento and some of the kings of that, but you see that throughout
Yeah.
all Italian horror, that they love lingering on the kills and on the build up to the kills, and it makes you feel like you're there. It makes you feel complicit, like in what's going on.
Finish it off with a
Great job here. Yeah,
Poke the eyeballs out, and then it goes to a cop, and he's saying, "Hey, this time let's everybody work together." And then it really, really starts going into the slasher thing. The girls are getting away. They're going to appear away from it in a perfect way for them to be taken out one by one.
yeah.
You got red herrings left and right. You got motherfuckers. It has got like 3 different fucking people where it's looking at like he's the killer, or he's the killer, or he might be the killer.
Yeah, they do a good job at hiding the identity, like to as late into the film as they do. Because I was trying to remember who it was, and I couldn't until around halfway through when it started coming back to me, and then I remembered. And it's cool that they show him like early on in the film too.
I
Like
forgot too.
a lot of movies, like that's where a lot of like mystery films, like horror films, fail for me. Is that if they try showing red herrings everywhere, but they don't show like the killer himself at all in the film, or like don't draw any attention to him and stuff. Like they're not setting it up as a possibility, so it's kind of cheating. But like here, it's used brilliantly because they show him so early on in the film, like they establish him as a character.
Yeah.
Instead of just like it ending up being just this random killer who's around, like the way that they tie it all together and the red herrings that they use, like they do a good job at keeping it a mystery until the third act of the film, pretty much.
They stick him in. They let you know who he is real good, and then pull him out until then. And they show you a shitload of all the other fucking nookie type guys. Like that one guy, he really gives you an idea that it might be. There's 2 different instances here. There's the dude, I can't remember his fucking name. It's Stefano.
Stefano, yeah.
You can see that he's physical with women. He might be a coward and might throw him around. He might beat on them.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that he's a serial killer.
Yeah.
And then you got the guy they meet on the train, and the dude that drives the Volkswagen. And first thing he does, come in, sits down, sees the 2 chicks looking like they're half asleep, and looks at him like he's got a purple on him. Looks over at the redheaded chick, and the redheaded chick is like, "No, I'm watching you, motherfucker."
Yeah. The girls are smart in this movie too.
Yeah,
like most of the female characters are very smart for especially the ones that get killed even. Like even the ones, even though they ultimately get killed, like they're still pretty aware of like their surroundings and stuff. Like
That's why it makes sense.
they're not they're not portrayed as just your typical bimbo, like slasher film Giallo like victims.
Yeah.
That they were, all the characters are written very, very smartly in this.
Isn't there like one part in the movie I remember from watching it today? Like they're out in the yard, like sunbathing, and they're like talking about that. They're like talking about how like there's someone going around, like like peeping on people.
Yeah. When I think after the news broke, after the first murders with the guy and the
Yeah,
girl.
they're like it's like they're out in their like whatever that cottage they're staying at or whatever the
Yeah,
fuck
that's
it's
yeah. They're
called.
staying at a family of a friend or something like that. Something like
And
that.
they're all like sunbathing with like half of their clothes off, and
Yeah.
I think like the milkman comes by or something. I forget exactly right now.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
That dude, oh my god. He comes in, I laugh
Yeah.
when he goes, duh, milk, bread, eggs.
Yeah.
That's
I'm like,
funny.
I'm like, damn, M-O-N, that spells egg.
The milkman does
I've
come.
only like I think I've only seen Torso. Maybe this is like probably my fifth or sixth time now. I'm like really surprised I know it so well.
Yeah, I think that's around the same amount. I think maybe less, maybe four. This was maybe my fifth time seeing it, but it's been years. I remember when I first saw it, and then I rewatched it recently, like after I first saw it. Then it was maybe a year or two. Then I watched it again. I said, yeah, this might be like the fourth or fifth time. It keeps getting better with every time I watch it.
Did you guys notice the callback, or well, not actually, it would be the future would be calling back 1982's Slumber Party Massacre with Stefano,
Oh, okay, yeah.
where he falls through the door just like the pizza dude.
Yep.
It's just like
That's
it, man.
yeah.
They pulled up
I
to
would
the
not have
door.
noticed that if you didn't mention that.
I was like,
That's true.
damn. I told my fiance, I said, that's just like Slumber Party Massacre, man.
That's a great scene in that movie too. I actually
But
like Slumber Party Massacre 2
oh,
the most
yeah,
in that
well, yeah.
series.
I
Like
hear that
from
a
going
lot,
back,
man. I prefer the original.
Yeah.
no,
Well, I
I
know
get I
I
get
know
it.
most who prefer the original for that one for sure. I mean, the second one is pretty.
It's like
It's like a musical almost.
yeah,
Like there's full on musical numbers and shit. Like it's out there. But the guitar drill, that's the reason most of the reason I love that movie. The guy's got a drill on the end of his electric guitar that he's playing and stabbing people with. That's awesome. Like that alone makes it sick for me.
I keep waiting for someone to custom make one of those and show it, show it on YouTube. One of these days, I can't wait
I'm
for
pretty
it.
sure Jason at Sinister Cinema Reviews, I mean, because he wants that too, and he told me he was close to
You
buying
mentioned
it.
that.
Yeah, so I think that he found someone who was making one, or I don't know if it was the actual prop used, but yeah, there are this. I think there's got to be one or two people making them out there.
There's some damn good customers out there, man. They can make action figures of
Oh,
anything.
especially with 3D printing now, the way that it is, like you can make anything, and people are like that. I've seen some amazing stuff that people make, like online and everything. You can just
AJ
3D
says,
print.
"Hello, everyone. I'm here for a bit. Cool. Hey, as long as you can stay, it's much appreciated.
How you
However long
doing,
you
man?
can, you always appreciate it." Um, Eric says French horror like Inside or high tension. Those are great. Oh hell yeah,
Yeah,
hell
high
yeah.
tension. High tension
Chicken.
was great for me, but the twist doesn't work for me on rewatches.
Right,
That's the
right.
whole
It
thing, though.
does get old after a while.
It's
Like it's
yeah,
not a movie you want to watch like once a year. It's something you might want to revisit like every 5 years or something.
It doesn't
yeah.
have good
The,
rewatchability.
the
It's kind of like
twist
the
just
others.
doesn't make
You know what I mean?
sense. And Inside
Like
though
the
is
others.
Inside is brutal. That's a great one.
The remake's not too terrible either. I mean, when you think about it, if you've seen it, there's much worse
Yeah,
remakes.
yeah, there are. I saw it the remake. I didn't care for it, but that's just because we've seen the original. Like for if somebody stumbled upon the first one, I mean the remake before the first one, that I think
Like
which
me.
isn't yeah. It's like it's still not that bad. Like definitely
No,
still carries that fucked up feeling that the
yeah.
original one does.
But it's just it's kind of like funny games or Good Night Mommy. You cannot recreate that uncomfortable feeling that foreign horror films are able to capture. Just
Funny
like
Games
with
is great.
Wreck and Quarantine, same thing, man.
Yeah.
Quarantine does a decent job too, but it's not Wreck.
No, well, yeah, Quarantine is a decent remake, but yeah, and I say that all the time. That foreign stuff, especially like the more foreign you get, like cultural wise differences, like
Right.
Indonesian horror and India and old Japanese horror. That's such of a bigger culture difference from Americans than Italian is to us. But anytime watching any of those movies, it's foreign already, so it's already like they always say we're scared of what's foreign to us. So it's automatically going to be a little more eerie, a little more frightening, just from it being a foreign horror film,
You're
despite what
probably
the
deeper.
content is.
You're probably deeper into the foreign horror than Sean and I are. I mean, we like it, and I love it a lot. But look, from just hearing you talk, I can tell you've seen a lot more of them than I.
Yeah, Japanese isn't really my thing. Japanese horror. I like just like maybe like the classics, like pretty much all the films that people think of when they think Japanese horror, and a few others. So I don't know why I spent 2 months talking about them, but figured let's get the classics out of the way. But like
I
Indonesia
love
and India, I've been killing it lately, like for years in the horror genre. They've been making some crazy good movies.
You've just come across some shit that I never even heard of, shit that I want to see. I mean, I want to see all of them. You just have seen all of them, all the ones that I want to see. You know?
There's a hell of a lot more. That's the one
Hey,
thing
Terry.
that's the one thing that I love, that the link between music and all art, basically
Oh,
music,
man.
film, is that it's an ongoing journey, and you can never see it all, you can never hear it all, but there's always something more. There's always more out there. It's
Yeah,
like an endless
exactly.
it's like an endless pool of constant giving from from film, from music, from all art.
Hey, dude. Yeah, it's like we were talking earlier, man. The best shit is shit you can't plan it. You can't sit down and plan to write a great
Yeah,
film or a great song. It just has to happen. All the best shit just happens.
yeah.
It, it,
All the
it, it,
components just
it's like
come
a gift,
together.
and it really is a gift, man. There's no feeling in the world. I was in bands when I was younger, and shit. And there's no better feeling in the world than to just my guitar player coming in, he start playing a riff, and that's what you do. And then I'd listen to that, and then I would instantly start throwing together the lyrics because I was a damn good lyric writer.
Yeah.
And some of those end up being gems, man. And it's just you can never plan on that happening. Like you go in
Oh
and you
yeah.
can be like, man, I'm in such a mood to jam, and that day wouldn't work out so well. Another day where you're not thinking nothing at all, next thing you know, you come out with the best song you've ever written.
Yep,
And
that's how
that's what
it
you do.
usually always happens as a musician too. Like it always happens that way. Like even songs written in the past and stuff would just come out of nowhere. Like I said, we were talking on Instagram. Like it was sent by the universe. Like
Yeah.
the idea was just you just happened. It was all ideas stream past, and that happened to be the one that you caught with your mind. And then you're just like, oh wait, that's a good idea. And then you just start writing more to it and expand upon it. But like, yeah, you can't plan for that. It just you have to wait for this inspiration to just kick in
Now,
and show itself.
did the killer? Do you guys think that the killer? I got kind of I got mixed signals for a minute. At first, I just knew for a fact that he knew she was there too. And the whole time I was thinking, yeah, he knows that Jane is there. But then again, he kind of acted like he didn't. You know what I mean? He was playing off like he didn't know that she was there.
Yeah, I
Um,
think I thought he knew she was there too. I thought he was just like fixated on
yeah,
on the other girl.
because he picked his time to take everybody out except her.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, sorry. Um, after she had hurt herself earlier on that day and fell down the stairs, and that was fucked up. But after she had taken the sleeping pill and laid down, he waited a couple minutes after that, just
Mm.
long enough. So it's almost like he knew everything that was going on. But then again, it gives other signals like she's running around and he doesn't know she's there. But then he'll do little things like toss the bag back in there, or
Yeah, yeah. When he
wait,
threw in
wait right there by the door, and when she goes to push the key out, drop the key on the paper so they can go in so that she can have it.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's I like we were saying how calculated he is and smart. It wouldn't surprise me he was doing all those things on purpose that he did know.
Yeah,
Like
like a method to his madness. Something you just won't understand, or you
yeah,
trying to
like
understand.
yeah, like it definitely is possible that he knew, and he was just it could be he was just toying with her too. Like he knew, and he was just messing
Definitely.
with her, like in his fucking with her in his mind. And so let me
Cat
just,
and mouse
he
game.
had his mind on one thing, but he's like, all right, let me throw something her way so she don't forget that she's in play. Definitely can be another possibility with that.
Now, I think, my opinion is it's a slasher. After that, they set it up perfectly for a slasher. But when that Stefano dude falls in there, like the callback to or the call for or whatever to some great massacre, and then she gets up and limps down there, and everybody's wiped the fuck out. That's where it goes from being a slasher. It's no longer a slasher at that point, man, because they set it up like they was going to take them out one by one by one. But
Yeah,
then
yeah,
they made it clear that you knew that that these girls were too smart to be separated to be done like that.
yep. And that's a
So
great
then it's
tradition
almost
that
like you knew
they
that.
stay together like that. Because you're right,
Yes.
you don't see that, and they do set it up like it's just going to be one kill after another,
Yeah.
kind of like New York Ripper in that type
Right.
of way. But then it doesn't do that, and testament to how smart these girls are.
Because they're
That like
fucking
it's
massacre.
like it's pretty much like the two of them throughout this whole movie trying to figure everything out. And it's just like with the red herring, like earlier, we said with Stefano when she thinks it remembers it's him that was wearing the handkerchief, and I mean that's
Yeah.
obvious. It's an obvious red herring because they play it so early, but the way that they build up to it is done well too.
Yeah.
And Chio freaks out thinking that it's him, and then calls whatever Jane and what's the other girl's name? The two main chicks. I know it's Jane and something.
Well, there's Jane. The redheaded chick is Daniela, and then the chick with the like blue eyes and the like the black hair. That's Katia, and then there's the black chick that's Ursula.
So it's Daniela and Jane, and but yeah, that whole thing with the handkerchief with Stefano and everything, like they're smart, like they know what they're looking out for, and like, and then she immediately goes and calls the other one and says, "I got to talk to you." And so they're like solving this together, like as the film goes on, which is a good choice.
Yeah. It's got really good pacing too, because even when the cat and mouse game is going on, she's up in that room and he's walking around down by the window and all that shit, and she sees him and he knows that she's there. You see it go from here, and then you see it go from where the sun's going down, and it
Yeah,
just that was a really good choice. I thought at that point to do that. That's about the time the Stefano, no, the I can't remember his name, but the dude with the Volkswagen is noticing her flashing that light down there.
yeah. I'm terrible with remembering Italian names.
Yeah.
And yeah,
That
speaking of
dude,
that,
how many
actually,
is there? He's
Dude, the
Volkswagen.
heavy accents, man. That's what makes it hard.
yeah, exactly. And the way they pronounce it, so then my brain's just like, all right, I'm just not going to remember it. But,
All
but
four of
like,
those girls,
with,
all four
with,
of these fucking girls,
yeah,
man, they had overdubs with English people, except the redhead. She still had a hell of an accent. Now I thought that was interesting.
I thought it's interesting that, like, because, I mean, this is early 70s, so you saw more of this then. And then
73.
the dubs coming on later, but a lot of Italian horror stuff is dubbed and stuff. This
Right.
is just straight Italian the whole time with subs.
What about the
With
voice they gave the delivery guy? Oh my god, man, he sounded like
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
he sounded like Patrick Star, SpongeBob. Yeah,
yeah,
he's like,
yeah. It was. There's definitely some funny choices, like always.
fucking loved it,
But
man.
It
I
was
thought
a
it was
I was
complete
interesting
like,
that it was.
missile.
I thought it was interesting. It was all they chose to do it all in Italian and just put subtitles and not
I
go
didn't miss,
the
man.
English
Playing it, he
dubbing
did a
route.
Patrick voice, man. I was like, really? I'd go there and be like, really? Yeah, I would search them down and be like, you gave me that fucking voice? He said, with his red milk. Oh, man.
It's
Look,
like
you
you
got
couldn't
it.
do any better than that. That was his
Fuck.
best performance. He went on to win an award for it.
Yeah. What about I love, this tells you it's product of its time, is the village idiot that they were telling, oh, you see what girls were looking at you? Oh, you need to go up there. And then his stupid
Uh,
ass fucking goes up there and peeking in the window. And then they get to watch him run off like an idiot because he seen the razor. He's like, God damn, man.
the killer's look in this, I like a lot. and it's really simple. It's just a burglar mask. Like it's just like the ski mask with the holes
What
punched
is it,
out.
like a nylon mask? Because it
That's
looks
what
like
it
a
looks like
ski
to me.
mask with
Yeah,
the
it looks
eyes
like
cut out, though.
yeah, exactly. That's what it looks like to me. It's just like a
But it
simple
kind of
ski
comes
mask.
off like the material's nylon. Like it's so close to his face and tight.
Yeah, like it's yeah, exactly. It's stuck on almost. It looks cool. Like for such a simple look.
You have
Maybe
no
that's what
functional
adds to
Giallo
it,
or
Sean. How it feels like, how it looks stuck to, like close to him. Maybe it is the material, but something for how simple a look it is, it looks really cool.
This
So
Yeah.
is
I'm
what I
guessing
believe.
that's it.
But he also has that scarf on around his neck.
Yeah, yeah.
It really
Yes.
adds to it.
Oh, especially with the whole reason that he kills and the whole reason he uses the those scarves. in
Right,
those
it's
kills.
part of his weapons. It's
Yeah.
basically part of his weapons, choice of weapons.
I think it might have been an accident, but I think he made a good hybrid, a good mix of a slasher and a Giallo.
Oh yeah.
The mask definitely isn't Giallo. That usually would have been a hat or some shit, and then have been like
Mhm.
a coat. Yet the gloves are Giallo. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you get the slasher mask, you get, you know what I mean?
And you
And
see
then,
more of him. And then
yes,
in Giallos, like in typical
because
Giallo,
his
you would
face
see a lot less of the killer. A lot of times you'll even just see the razor blade or the knife or something, and then that's it.
yeah,
And you'll see like the outline. Or this year, they make it a point to show shots of the killer, like how his face, the mask, shots of his face. So it definitely rides that line, like pretty.
that's why they chose the
This
mask.
might ride that slasher Giallo line like the best out of films that
Yes,
I can think of, along with like Twitch and the Death Nerve. Like the same writing of that same line. That is it slasher or is the very beginning of slasher right here. That it rides that line very, very well.
I think he wanted to show him more, and that's why he put the mask on him instead of doing like a hat and a coat. I think that
Yeah,
was the whole
that could
reason.
make
I
that would
really
make
do.
sense.
And that's why
Absolutely.
it feels different because you do get
Yeah.
to see it instead of this is like Michael Myers or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when she sees him across that fog, she looks and she thinks she can see him, but
And that's a great
she
shot too.
the more she thinks about it, she knows she's seen him. That she starts getting scared.
Yeah.
Like in a Giallo or usual Giallo, they wouldn't have been able to do that. But with that
Hmm.
mask, that opened up so many other possibilities.
Oh yeah. And that's I wouldn't doubt it. I think you're right. And that's probably why he even thought of the mask in the first place to put on
He
him.
freed himself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was
he
able
freed
to
his
do a
empire.
lot more things creatively that he would be restricted to if it was just a straight up Giallo.
Yeah, most definitely.
Going back and watching Torso today, like one movie that just kept coming up on my mind is Hostel.
Really? Because I had pieces pop up in my head a few times.
Just like a few scenes, I'm just like, this looks exactly like something in Hostel. It's just like, I don't know, I just kept getting these
I
reminders of Hostel.
I could probably
scene
see it.
or
You pointed out like certain scenes. I probably would be able to see it. I don't know why I was thinking pieces. Like there was nothing really that made me think pieces. It just kept popping through my head.
just goes to
And
show that each
Pieces is
person
like,
gets their own
Pieces has like way
interpretation.
more humor too.
Oh yeah. Maybe it's just like how I feel like Pieces kind of rides that Giallo slasher line too.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's definitely
It's like Spanish Giallo mixed with
Dude,
slasher. Maybe that's why it
I
was
would say it
crossing my head.
qualifies. It definitely
Yeah,
qualifies because the dude's going around with like a black trench coat, black gloves, with a
yeah. I
top
love
hat.
the look. I
Like,
love the look in there with the popped up collar and stuff, so you can only see like here, like Pieces
it's
is the
almost like the
killer. It
same
looks so
thing with the killer from The Burning in the beginning.
good. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Great look too.
Um,
I love all the looks of the killers in these
Anytime
Or
movies.
you get that,
Cropsy, I mean, I should say Cropsy. I'm saying the killer, like I have no idea who he is.
That's I'm so surprised we never got a Burning too. We got like 10 fucking Fridays, 12 Fridays, whatever it is now, 12 Fridays.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Friday,
and we never got a Burning too.
look at the Giallo influence in Friday. Friday is not a pure slasher. The whodunit side of that thing, the only
Oh yeah,
thing that changes it is the fact that we had never seen Pamela yet. If we
yeah.
had seen Pamela before,
Oh yeah.
we would
That-
definitely have more Giallo. But it still does because it's the only slasher that I know of like that at that time, especially at the beginning of the franchise. That is a reveal at the end and not a killer that you know is man the whole time.
yeah.
You have to
And that
guess and you're wondering, that's Giallo based, man. That is Giallo based all day.
Absolutely, and that goes back to what I was saying, what we were talking about earlier, with revealing, showing the killer like early in the film and establishing him as a possible suspect. That's what I think would work so well with Friday when it came out, because that's usually is the rules, like you were saying. Like, and since we don't see Mrs. Voorhees at all, like when we finally get that reveal, like it's not fair according to the rules. So, and that's why it works so well as a surprise, because it's like usually, yeah, who is this? Like, we've never seen this person before. But then
Yeah.
just the way she takes off with her monologue and her acting and everything,
surprising.
just it surprises the hell out of you.
I expected to be one of the people there. Like I went to the movie and seen that when I was a kid. When I was 7 years old, I had just turned 7 in May, and then it'd come out there in June. So I was freshly 7 years old, and I never seen anything like it. But at the same time, my logic, and my mom was sitting by me, and she was talking about, she was picking out different people on who she thought it was. You know what I mean? People, as far as the counselors and everything, you know. And then at the end, I remember mom sitting right here, and she's like, "Who the hell is that?" You know, when Pam got out, like, who the hell is that?
That's funny. And I'm trying to think, because because if I saw Halloween when I was 6 and it was on Halloween, so that means it had to have been 7 years old when the New Year came or whatever, or in that year that I saw the first 8 Fridays, and I thought it was Steve Christie. Like, on my first initial watch, I thought it was him. And because they don't, he's disappearing forever, and then they show him like still at lunch like 10 hours later after he says I'm going to lunch and stuff. So like at first that was my guess the first time, and then like when Miss Voorhees came out, I was like, all right, who's this?
Actually, they told you that right before, because remember his Jeep breaks down or whatever, and he has to get the ride with the cop. Well, while he's getting the ride there with the cop, somebody gets killed, and it couldn't be him. He couldn't have traveled there during that time.
In that time.
The cop at that time. But a lot of times people don't think about that. They kind of snuck that one in. That way, when he there, he had to come from miles away. So when you think back at it, it kind of whispered it to you a little bit right before that.
Yeah.
So by the time he gets killed, he's like, "Oh, what are you doing out here in this mess?" And gets killed. You're not surprised. As a kid, I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that.
And that's what tips you off that it's somebody that he knows or knows him.
Who's left? Harry Crosby, blah blah blah, and then they're all dead except her, and it's like, what the fuck? Did somebody play like they was dead? And then the woman shows up, and it's like, who in the hell is this kid?
I liked.
His mom just showed up, you know.
Yeah, right. It's like, oh, somebody showed up to pick their kid up,
and that's all about it.
Oh yeah, I liked in this with the whole backstory with the killer, with his brother trying to grab the doll, and then because they show the shot of the doll before each kill, or like before he slices into them. All of that's cool. Like the way, and when the kid fell off the cliff, it reminded me very heavily of Fulci's the psychic, and Don't Torture a Duckling, both of them, the psychic and the open, the cliff kills in both of those. Thought immediately of those, even though this came first, right? No, Duckling came 72, Psychic came at 70, so Duckling came first. But yeah, instantly thought of those two movies by Fulci with that flashback.
Duckling was his second horror film. His first one being
Women in Lizard Skin, or Lizard in a Woman's Skin. I was confused the name of
it.
I still haven't seen that one.
I don't have that one yet. I seen it one long time ago, and I want it's got that same woman in it. You know, the woman in Don't Torture Duckling that gets beat with the rocks and killed by all the dads because they still think she's the killer and they let her go. She's the
I still haven't seen that.
You haven't seen Don't Torture Duckling?
I need to see the both now. I still haven't seen Don't Torture and Lizard Skin, or whatever it's called.
That was the last Fulci watch that I did, wasn't it? When I was doing my I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was too.
I don't think I was there for it because I know I still haven't seen the movie. Maybe I was in the chat and wasn't watching it. I don't know.
Maybe.
I know it was the last one you did, because I remember I wasn't watching it because I've told you a few times. Yeah, I tried getting into this. Is the one Fulci film that I've tried getting into several times. Don't Torture a Duckling, and I like it. but it just doesn't suck me in like most Fulci, and I haven't watched it in
Love it.
years. So now I got to rewatch it and do a video for it on the channel. That'll be my like final say on how I feel of it. But
It's
yeah,
different.
it's definitely different compared to later Fulci for sure. Like this is Giallo Fulci. It's not like his gothic like late 70s, early 80s into the mid 80s Fulci.
I mean, if you look at Fulci's like his whole filmography, like I know I can't watch all of it. I've tried. It's
Right.
so
Oh,
hard to do. Like it's,
some of
but
his
he
stuff
has
is
so many
terrible
different
too.
films. Like even his crime drama films, they just have a whole different feel to like like his horror films, and I just can't really get into them that much.
Yeah, I mean
But
he
that's
is,
just me personally.
Once
I
his
like
once he finished his heyday up to like '82 with New York Ripper, he began to decline, and I think it's because they said he was getting sick and all this kind of stuff. And he'd been sick for years, or maybe he was just he had just told several pretty good stories right in a row.
oh yeah.
He had done a little, and then to finish it off, he did Zombie, House, Beyond, and City of the Living Dead, and
Yeah,
after that,
Manhattan. He had Manhattan Baby in '82 too, also, which I
what
like. I like Manhattan Baby. That movie gets too much
I'm not
shit.
big on it.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
big on that one.
I mean,
Um,
it's very much his Exorcist like wannabe film, just like Enigma is his Carrie, like in a
right.
way. Like, but Enigma's another one I feel is underrated. Like those are like Fulci films I'll throw in every now and then. Like if I don't feel like watching like the Beyond or Zombie or the Gates of Hell trilogy for the millionth time and feel like watching like a different, like lesser, more obscure, not obscure, but lesser loved Fulci, then I'll throw on like Manhattan Baby or the Black Cat or
Black Cat
the
is fucking
Psychic.
underrated, man.
Yeah, Black Cat is very
Uh,
underrated too.
I love that one, man. And it makes it right in between, like New York Ripper and House by the Cemetery. He makes it right between those times,
Yeah,
right about what I mean, right when he was
he,
still really hot. So
he was unstoppable from like 77 from with the Psychic to then Zombie is where he exploded like internationally. But I consider the Psychic too. From the Psychic on to like yeah, like 84 ish or so. He was just
I was
like
just gonna say about
every year, like
84.
yeah,
Like he was
84,
definitely
85 is
like his
phenomenal.
peak. Like he was consistent all the way from like 78 to 80 or yeah 84.
Yeah,
That's what I
like
think.
how about Martino? I mean, when you think, I mean, of course, Torso was he. I think it's probably his best one in my opinion. But he has a string of quite a few good ones too that seem to go under the radar for some reason. Why do you guys think
yeah.
that is?
I don't know. Honestly, I'm not as well versed with Martino. Like
I think he was
I
more
know
popular in the 70s. That's why. That's like
that
the
could
best way
be.
to really answer that because like I don't know,
He
he
did a
was
lot of
putting
time.
out something every year in the 70s. Every
Yeah.
year he was doing something.
That could be why, like, as Giallo's kind of fell off a little bit in the late 70s. Like, they still were, like, a huge thing, but, like, the peak of them was, like, the early mid 70s. That could definitely be why, since he made so many Giallos. That's why I know that, even though I don't know him by name, I know I've seen at least 4 or 5 of his other films because he just kept on writing Giallos like crazy throughout the 70s.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
you
then he
probably
And a
did
lot of them were well
Mountain of the
regarded.
Cannibal God. Like
Okay,
he did a
yeah,
cannibal
I've seen that.
movie, and
Yeah.
then he did a creature
What
feature with that movie Screamers.
Case of the
Oh,
Scorpion's
okay, yeah.
Tail?
So I've seen that. I've seen those two. I've seen that in the Cannibal God. All I feel like all Italian horror directors dipped into the Mondo cannibal film like
Yeah,
thing
dude,
at
it was like a
once.
competition at one
Yeah,
point.
yeah. They all
You know,
just went
Umberto
like, who can do the
Lenzi,
best one?
Umberto Lenzi, Ruggiero
Yep.
Diodato.
I mean, I think that without saying Diodato reigns supreme with that war,
Yeah,
with
I gotta
Cannibal
agree.
Holocaust. That one will never be
Gotta give
beaten.
credit where credit's due, and
Oh
That's
yeah,
Ruggiero
why I
did
don't
it
get talked
best.
about as much either. Usually, when people talk about Italian horror, there's usually three names that they mention: Bava early on, and then Argento and Fulci. They forget about. You know what I mean?
oh yeah. And
It's like that. Like they're the only ones. Like if you mention it to somebody that's outside of directly being in horror or whatever, or even some people that are in horror, they'll still mention those two names, and then every now and then you got Bob. You
Yeah.
never hear any of the other.
Which I feel like Bava should always be there, and especially like I think Bava had the most stable career out of all of them. Like
Yeah.
Bava never made
He
a
got
bad
him
movie.
rolling, man.
He
used to do
never
that shit in
made,
the 60s.
never made, yeah. And he used to finish films for directors who didn't want to fucking finish the movies. They would just bounce, and he wouldn't even get credited half the time. He would just take over and finish the film. But like his whole career was just nonstop brilliance. Like
Like if
Fulci
we
fell off later on in Argento, we all know from the '90s forward. He made some good films despite that, but that was pretty much his decline in the '90s. But Bava never had a decline, in my opinion.
yeah. But yeah, if we actually continue this show, I pre-ordered that Arrow's got coming out in like October for Blood and Black Lace. I pre-ordered that set, and I still haven't seen the movie, but I'm
Yeah,
familiar
yeah,
like from
you'll love it.
seeing trailers of it. But I really want to like do that on this show in October when I finally get that Blu-ray.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Blood and Black Lace, phenomenal.
Whoever's choice it is, that's what we're doing. Whoever's turn it is, that's what we're doing. Whatever
Hell yeah.
that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to doing that one.
Yeah, that's another like that's why it's so hard for me to pick up like top Bava and stuff. Even though I do have my top Bava, like Kill Baby Kill. But
what's your thoughts on Shock?
I like Shock. Like Shock was his last film.
People, a lot of Baba fans and Italian fans don't for some reason. So I was curious
Yeah,
about that.
it is mixed. I love Shock. I think every film that he did had something different or new. Like even Barren Blood isn't a favorite among Bava fans.
You're right.
It's not really a favorite of mine either, but it still has enough interesting stuff in Barren Blood, like to make it like a worthy watch every now and then.
Hatchet for a Honeymoon.
Hatchet for the Honeymoon was another great one. The
Bay of Blood.
Yeah, Twitch to the Death Nerve, Bay of Blood. I just love the name Twitch to the Death Nerve instead of Bay of Blood. I wish they released it everywhere as Twitch to the Death Nerve. Like that to me is like the best name for a horror film, like maybe ever. Like Twitch of the Death Nerve. It's like wow, that's so awesome for a horror film. Just such a great name. And Kill Baby Kill is my favorite Bava. That's my favorite ghost film, like in general. Like and so effective. It's just it's just a little girl as the ghost, and it was not even a girl. It was a boy that Italian boy that he put a wig on, and that's it. Like maybe a little bit of effects to make her pale looking. That's it.
Yeah.
Like and still so effective, and that ghost is so creepy. Just the simplest thing sometimes is the most effective.
Baba knew how creepy kids could be. He learned to make it off of like bad seed and shit like that. Because I mean, look at the kid in Shock.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? That kid was all creepy as fuck, man.
Oh hell yeah! That's one thing I love about Shock. I love that kid. Like I love how freaky he is, and just Daria Nicolodi is fantastic as always. Like in everything. So that's another thing I like about Shock, just having Nicolodi there, and she does great too.
I think Shock is watchable, but I'm not super crazy about it. I have it on DVD. Like I've seen it maybe once or twice, but it doesn't do a whole lot for me. But it's definitely a very watchable film.
Yeah, no, I could see that. I mean, I'd probably have to do for a rewatch probably at this point. It's been probably a few years. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I might rewatch that soon. So thanks for that.
Actually, explain to me what a Giallo is. Actually, Giallo means yellow, but it's basically a murder mystery. You know what I mean? It's basically a murder mystery. It's an Italian murder mystery, but the actual word means yellow. It's yellow. It's see, just
the old mystery novels in Italy and stuff used to have yellow bindings and yellow covers, so that's where they got the name from.
And shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, early stories, fucking Hound of Baskervilles with fucking with Sherlock Holmes and shit. They were probably the first stories like that.
Yeah, exactly.
The whodunits, except that they took away all the getting everybody in one room and going, you could have done it, blah 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 blah, but you didn't. And then moving on and then finally getting to the killer, and then the light goes out. They took that away, and made it more gore and made it more
Yeah, exactly. They glorified
so
glorified the kills a lot more,
yeah, made the killers more boogeyman shit
which
than
is
just
why the slasher genre pretty much evolved from the Italian Giallo movies.
yes, definitely. Yeah, shit. Fuck, I was gonna say something.
Eric had a good question a little bit up. Who do you guys prefer and why, Bava, Argento, or Fulci?
Oh my god.
I'd probably go with Argento mainly because that's what really opened me up to watching the rest of the genre, like the Italian giallos and stuff.
Yeah,
That's what really opened it up for me. Like I was familiar with who Bava was at the time, but I was more influenced to want to watch Argento.
Yeah.
I can see that because I think Argento was my first foray into Italian horror with Suspiria, and to this day is pretty much the film that I'll recommend to a horror fan who's never watched an Italian horror film. Because I feel like there's something about Argento's films that are a little more accessible, or like for easing people into Italian horror. Like
Yeah.
especially Suspiria and then maybe Deep Red, like to get someone into like the Giallo like side of it. Like I
Deep Red.
just with his color usage and everything, like from Deep Red through Inferno and stuff, that's enough to grab people's attention right off the bat. Like even if they're not a fan or have never seen an Italian horror film. I
Or
mean,
if they're
it's so
confused by the plot holes.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or like the dubbing, it seems like it's like yeah, you'll get used to that. Don't worry, you won't even notice it no more.
Yeah.
Like
You start to appreciate that stuff as you watch it more.
yeah, exactly. For some reason, like the bad dubbing has charm to it. Like the slasher films in the '80s had the campiness. These have the the bad dubbing. But for me, I don't know if I could pick between the three of them. If anything, it's just Fulci's. I prefer more for just like a nightmare kind of, just like if I feel like a surrealistic nightmare experience. I'll go with Fulci, like Argento's. If I can throw Argento on any time, basically. And Bava and Fulci, I'll say this: I do have to be in a mood for either one of them to throw them on. It doesn't take much to put me in those moods, but I have to be in a Bava mood to throw Bava on, or in a Fulci mood to throw Fulci on. Argento, I can throw on whenever. So just on that fact, I guess I'll go with Argento, just for
They're
watchability.
murder. Fulci is gore.
Yeah,
That's how I distinguish them. They're like
yeah,
two different things, man. Like people
yeah.
put them,
It's so hard to
people talk
compare.
about them in one group, and you can't. Fulci and
Yeah.
Argento are two completely different things, and
Oh yeah, and
Bava
Bava
is
too.
you know.
They just get
So
grouped together because of the arguably, the three kings of Italian horror, but they're so different style wise. Even if you can see some of a lot of influences in from Bava's work on the two of the others, still so different.
I mean, like overall, like what's the nicknames for Fulci and Argento? Fulci's is he's the godfather of gore.
Yeah,
Argento, what do they call him again? The master of Italian horror or something? Or
something like that. Yeah, they've been given so many names. And what's
Maestro
Bava's?
of, yeah,
Bava's the grandfather of Italian horror, basically. Like if
something like that.
you
Like I
have
know there is like specific names, but I do know that Fulci holds that godfather of gore.
yeah,
He definitely holds that one.
yeah, he's always been. I mean, who could blame that nickname? It works perfect.
once he finally found it, see, because he was doing the Giallo type stuff. He never did them quite like everybody else, but throughout the '70s. But when he hit like '79 and found Zombie and did Zombie, then he was on that kick of giving just gore, and he didn't really give a fuck if it made sense.
Yeah,
He was all about the experience.
exactly.
You know,
And
that's people's complaint about it. Is that that don't make, I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense. You're supposed to experience his films. Those
and
three or four right there, you're supposed to. And then he stepped back into it again with New York Ripper, but then he stepped right back out and tried to go back to all the core again, and he just didn't have it like he had
yeah,
'79 through '83 or whatever.
I think that's also you make a good point, and I think that's what a lot of people who aren't into Italian horror or aren't well versed enough in it that say that criticism that it's all just substance style over substance, and that there's no plots and that it's just gore for gore's sake. Most of that originates with Fulci criticisms. Like that
Right.
doesn't really shouldn't be spread to other Italian directors.
Right.
Like that, like you watch most Argento films, Bob, they make sense. Like they absolutely make sense. But like I feel like that criticism is more towards Fulci, but that's just how Fulci is. Like you have to accept the
Yeah.
the universe that you're exploring here is Fulci's universe, and that it's his rules, and that you're just going in for the ride. If you can live and have fun in his universe, then you'll enjoy Fulci's films. Like get taken for the experience. They're not
And he didn't
supposed to
seem like that.
be made sense of. Like same with David Lynch. Like there's crumbs of ideas of what there's everything's going on. Like it has a plot. It's just
Right.
it's a lot. He likes to
That's
leave it up to interpretation a lot more, which I personally
and you
something
just
I love.
yeah. But the Fulci didn't see it that way. Whenever people would say, it's just gore and all this, he was actually offended by that.
Yeah,
Because Fulci, he always had that 5 minutes somewhere in the middle, towards the beginning of the third act, where he would, in his own way, explain what was going on. Like I said, that 5 to 10 minutes where he'd be like, okay, now, this is what I'm trying to say.
yeah,
Why haven't you seen it? And it's like, well, you know,
yeah. Oh no, yeah, and I would take offense to it too because I mean they have plots, man. Like as surreal as the Beyond and City
like,
of the Living Dead, which I think are his most surreal out there films, they still have plots. They have a story that's not hard to follow either. Like it's a very
yeah,
simplistic story in those
I mean,
movies.
at times it does seem like things are becoming like incoherent, like
Oh
especially like
yeah,
with the
for sure.
Beyond. But
the Beyond,
the more
exactly.
you
The Beyond
watch
is
it,
the
you
hardest.
start to like see how, like with Fulci's style, it seems like the atmosphere carries the movie more than the actual characters themselves with their dialogue.
Exactly, and that's why when people say criticism towards Italian horror in general, just saying like it's all style over substance and stuff, I feel like that's more, if anything, suited towards Fulci. Like, because that's what I was saying. Like, we watch Suspiria and stuff. Still, yeah, it's style over substance. It definitely is. But
There's
Yeah.
people who don't
these
understand
aren't hard to
Suspiria.
follow movies. Like they have plots. Like
Right.
Fulci's in his own universe that you have to kind of accept it's Fulci, and that Fulci's making the rules, and you're in for a Fulci ride, and and that's it. Like when you watch his films.
Hold on a minute. Man says, did you guys start the movie? No, we're not doing a
Okay,
watch
watch it
on
towards
this show,
home.
man. This is a deep this is
We
a
love
deep
you, man.
discussion into Italian horror. The Thursday night show is. This is the one time
Yes.
when we're not watching the movie.
That's funny.
I for a second, I was like, is she's being smart ass or anything? With
That's
two
so
question
funny.
marks. With
Oh,
two question
shit.
marks. You know what I mean? So I
Oh,
was
you
like,
gotta start shit, man.
I'm not sure, man. She's got two question marks, so I'm confused.
She got the two question marks. So
I,
that could be Sly May trying to fuck with us.
if you're being serious and you're really curious, or if you're being serious and you're trying to tell us something, then you're trying to say, hey, what you guys do a watch.
She said,
Um,
"Oh yeah, I know now. I came in without looking."
okay, so she was serious and not being a sport. That's number one, and number two, she wasn't trying to tell us, hey, you better do a fucking watch.
Yeah,
A little sick of it.
so that's funny.
I feel so bad when I see that because I feel almost like she was disappointed. You know what I mean? It's like, well, no, this is us just running our face talking about different films each week, man. Um, one of us, if we take turns, like I'm first. So on my channel,
Eric,
it's on my channel, and I chose Torso for us to discuss. I don't know who's going to be next week. I'll leave that to them too. And then
next week, Keith. Actually, next week Sean is busy, and it's my mother's birthday, so we're actually not going to be able to do next week. So the following week,
Okay.
the third.
Whenever it's
So
going to happen,
yeah,
you guys decide who's next.
Yeah, I was invited to be on Grande's Graveyard next Thursday, and I can't miss that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my mom's birthday, so we'll party with the old woman.
Damn, this is a lot. Damn, this motherfucker chat has just been. I'm just way
Oh,
back there on that shit. But see, yeah, this is a different concept, man. This is discussion. This is just us discussing Italian films that we love, and every once in a while I'll do a little something like this just to give somebody a reference of what we're talking about. I will throw. Hold on a minute. This on. This is the
yeah,
star of the particular film that we're talking about, and this is her locked up in the room, and she can't get out while the killer has massacred her friends, and he's
it's a
basically playing
great
cat and
scene.
mouse with her. So
Great scene. Great movie. And Jay just said here too. I only watched Torso earlier this year. Fucking impressive film. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Every time I rewatch it,
yeah,
which has been a while
Carnival
this time.
Birds. I always forget about that alternate title, Carnival
Yeah, me
Birds, and I
too.
always
And
like
it
that
works.
too.
so,
It works perfectly.
so
And
Yeah,
yeah,
see
here's
how
the
the
that
killer
look.
thing.
there, he's got that real tight ski
Yeah,
mask with the scarf around his neck. I love that look.
yeah, you're right. How it like sticks to his like above his lips and stuff. How it's like,
And
yeah. I
this
wonder what
scene
that
in
is made of.
particular right here with this screenshot, it screams Giallo because of the glove.
Oh yeah.
Yet you got a mask covering, and Yellow usually didn't do that, at least not early on. So you got a good hybrid of the two, I think.
Oh, absolutely. That's one thing that I think is very unique about this film.
And then you got this here. This is one of the girls. Her girlfriend and her go up with them to it looks like to get picked off one by one, but I won't say anymore just in case anybody hasn't heard me already spoil it. This girl here is fucking gorgeous, and it was too bad to watch her go in the first 20. Um, let's check out this girl now. Fuck it, let us look at her again. Hold on. Okay, but anyway, yeah, and that's one thing I want to be able to start remember to put those in there to give reference. You know what I mean? But I get involved in the conversation, I forget.
No, yeah, that makes sense. I'll do this. I'll be able to do that. I'll upload whatever movie we're talking about. I'll just upload some stills and shit.
Yeah, that's what I did. I got several of them, but I completely forgot what I was talking.
But that
So
was a
okay,
great. That's a
so
great shot of the killer, though. It's a great shot of him because all in one. That one shot shows what works so well about it in the movie, like with
Yeah,
the giallo
that's like
gloves
my
and
favorite
the
part
look.
of the movie. So
Yeah.
just how that whole scene takes place, the atmosphere couldn't be any better
Oh
because they're
yeah.
out in like these like creepy ass woods and it's completely damp and foggy
You
and
got
it's
the
just
moonlight and
swampy waters and everything.
yeah, it looks awesome.
and then okay, so not next week, but the week after that, who's gonna be next between you guys?
Sean doesn't
JT
matter.
can go next.
Right. All right. I'll go next.
Yeah,
Alrighty,
let JT go next.
so
All
a
right.
week from Thursday, it will be on JT's channel at 10 o'clock on Thursday, and yeah, it'll be on his channel. It'll be his choice. Do you know what you want to choose yet?
Not yet, but I will try to. Not for this next episode, but for another one, I'll try to upload that film I was talking about, the House with the Laughing Windows, because I
Okay.
still haven't. I'm still waiting on watching it because my friend Lauren told me about it. You know, I'm sure that I've seen it a long time ago, but it's regarded as one of the greatest Giallo. So figure that'll be
Yeah,
a cool
I
one
haven't
to
seen it,
watch.
so that's cool.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
I, I'm always going to try to have my choice ready. Like when it gets back, like after Sean's turn here in a few weeks, at the end of his show, at the end of his turn. But before we leave that stream, I'll be letting everybody know what
Yeah,
my
that's a good way to do it. Yeah, but I'll have you guys know by the end of the weekend, so we'll have plenty of time.
Yeah, one movie I definitely want to get around to doing, and this is another one from Sergio Martino. This actually came out, I think, the year before. Yeah, this came out the year before Torso, and this is more of a psychedelic giallo film, but this is All the Colors of the Dark.
Cool.
Okay, I've seen that too. Actually, now that
Yeah, a
I
lot
keep
of people
forgetting
don't
names
really
of
like
his.
this, though. Like, it's a little understandable because it's not your typical
Yeah,
giallo. It's more psychedelic,
That works for me.
and But I mean, I don't know. First time I ever saw it, I was just like completely stunned by like all this like nightmarish imagery that you see throughout the film, and it's just like
Probably shouldn't show
trying to
that.
comprehend this film in like the first viewing is like it doesn't really do it much justice. You have to see this 2 times.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a lot of films that fall into that category.
I didn't notice that there's a picture of him with a hand right on her tit.
Yeah, yeah. And
And that's
I
what this
noticed.
chick
I
thinks
just didn't
about it.
say
She's
anything.
like, "Oh my god, you showed that." You have this picture. You have this picture here. She's like, "He showed it. Oh my god!" Look how big her eyes are. He fucking showed it. Oh my god, his channel's gonna get cut off. But you couldn't see the tit. You could just see him firmly caressing it.
Exactly. I submit this into evidence.
He likes him. He wants to hold him and then cut him.
Who wouldn't?
There's a lesbian couple. They like each other tremendously, and I like that.
That is true. Thank you, Eric, for the sub.
Yeah, let me get
Much
back over
appreciated.
here for a minute here. Oh, yeah, I usually bullshit and talk for a while, JT and Sean. So if either one of you guys decide that you're done and you want to cut out, just let me know. And I don't know, it's up to you guys. Do you guys have any more points that you want to make on the film? Here, I think I might have a couple. You know me, I like to talk.
My final thoughts is just that this movie keeps getting better every time I watch it. Every
Yes.
few years when I watch it and throw it on, I forget how much I enjoy it, and I love it even more for that. Like the way that it melds Giallo so brilliantly with slasher in these early days, the early 70s here. Like we didn't even have Texas Chainsaw Massacre until a year later.
Speaking of
Like
that,
I even think like the
he-
opening, the torso, like when you were watching the beginning of Torso with that real like laid back, almost like porno kind of music in a way.
Music, yeah, like the flute
It's
type
just you
shit.
know you're getting a different movie with watching this. It's
Yeah.
not your
Step into a
typical
threesome,
fish.
man.
It's
You know
just
what I mean?
completely different, man.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
you step right into two women and a man in the bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like you hear like those the photo snapshots.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then later on, you find out who all those people are. You only know who one of them
Yeah.
is, and that be the first victim. But yeah, this fucker, he not only slices up the shit, he takes a saw and fucking starts sawing off pieces at it. The whole time, him, I think, knowing she's watching and sneaking around, of course. He wanted her to see that. I think that's why he threw that piece back in there. After he went out the door, he opened it back up and threw that piece in. And he pulled it, locked her in. He's like, damn. And then he tells her, and then he tells her, you're not like them. They were dogs, all this kind of stuff. And then after he gets done telling her all that shit, he picks out the thing, wraps it around, starts choking her.
It's a psychotic mind, man. But yeah, the way
You're just like them. It's like 2 minutes from now.
The way they portray the killer and as not just your typical psychotic killer and just like a guy with actual intelligence, and he's cunning and he's meticulous. Like very awesome job how they handle the killer, how they handle the reveal to who it is, the mystery behind it, and the red herrings are all greatly handled. Like the gore is great.
But you
Great stuff.
You notice how well he handles it, and how well he conducts himself, and how well he's thinking ahead until he starts talking to Jane, somebody that he likes. Then he starts losing control. He loses that tough, that methodical demeanor. Then he starts freaking out, because if he didn't like that whole time, he wouldn't be able to pull that shit off. But once he starts talking to her and it goes back to what happened when he was a kid,
she was like his kryptonite.
Yeah. That's when he gets the idea that she's not digging and down with what he did. You know what I mean? So she was
exactly.
Yeah.
Great look of the killer. What was that?
Well, what's up with the shoes in the bathroom? Why does he take the shoes and go toss them in the bathroom?
No, yeah, I don't. What we were saying earlier, maybe just fucking around with her,
Keeping around with shoes, like you do manage to get out, you gotta be barefooted, just whatever. He just wanted to. He's cat and mouse.
Yeah, I guess maybe. It just seems like he likes playing those cat and mouse games.
I'd have been like, the shoes in the bathroom? I mean, I don't need those.
I mean, you think about like I don't know. You look at like real life serial killers. They really enjoy terrorizing their victim before they just,
Yeah.
they want to save her something. You
It's
want
like the
something to
thrill
take
of the hunt.
home.
It's like thrill of the hunt.
You want
Michael
something to take home.
Michael
Yeah.
Myers was like that. Michael Myers was like that, except for he did it in a quiet
Mhm.
way. He wanted it for him, not for them. He didn't want them to know. He wanted it for him. He wanted him to know that he was talking, not
Yeah.
them. It wasn't about scaring them. It was about having him know that he's watching them without them knowing. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Michael was unique that way. He
And
liked
then
that.
they never showed him in that same way again after 78.
That's true. Because once he revealed
Except,
himself, he was dead.
yeah, except for that's what I like about the producer's cut of Halloween 6 is there is scenes of him stalking what's her name? The relative of Laurie that's living in the house in that movie. There's a few scenes of him actually stalking and it's very reminiscent of Carpenter's. Like if I can mix like the producer's cut of Halloween 6 and then add on like chop off the third act and put the theatrical cut ending, it would be a pretty damn good film, actually, in my opinion. Curse of Michael Myers. I mean, it still has all the stupid thorn shit, so that's all whatever. I just put that aside, but the atmosphere and the feel of it, and especially with those stalking scenes, like it's probably some of the closest, like tone wise, to Carpenter's, like to any of the other movies.
I've never seen a producer's cut.
I'll get you a link for it or something. I'm sure I can find the link.
I was only 6 once, and it was the theatrical cut. The only cut that was around at that time.
Yeah. We waited forever for a producer's cut.
I was like, oh my god, man! Because the first time that popped out was like the release right before the Screen Factory, right? They put it out from Dimension or some shit, didn't they? Or
I think it was like 2010, 2011, maybe some early 2010s. That producer's
yeah,
cut.
6 is just such a different movie. Seems like a lot of people aren't able to accept how different it was. Like I enjoy it for what it is. I'm not crazy about it, but I find it to be watchable. Pretty much after 6, I don't really like a lot of shit after 6.
I don't
To be
either.
honest with you, like after that,
I don't
pretty
like
much done with the
I don't care
franchise.
for H2O really even, but if they ended it with H2O, I'd be fine with it. Like completely fine. Like if they ended it with H2O. Hey Dan.
I like 78, and I like 2 up until the brother sister thing happens, and
I hate the whole brother sister thing. That's that ruins the whole original movie for me. And that's why Halloween 3 is my favorite in the series after the original. Halloween 3 is my favorite sequel.
Yeah, I like Halloween 3 a lot.
Once we accepted that it wasn't about Michael and that this anthology thing could be something cool, the same people that hated all those years came back and was like, "Hey, it's pretty cool." There's still a few sticklers that don't like it, and I think that's still people that are still pissed about it.
Oh, for sure.
I'm much more pissed about what they did to him than them not having him in 3. You know what I mean? I'm much more pissed about that.
Yeah. But yeah, 3. I mean, 4 is great just for the atmosphere alone. I love the atmosphere in 4. Like even the daytime shots are still dark. Like it's such a dark film, and I love that about 5. Five is so hit or miss. It's not even funny. But 6, like Sean, how you said, like 6 is a complete, like a totally different movie. Like the producer's cut from the theatrical cut are like 2 different movies. Like that's how different they are. Like
actually,
I was shocked when I went over them for the channel when I did the series. I did both of them. I said, wow, I didn't remember how different these were. Like totally different.
I only had the producer's cut. I don't even think I had the theatrical cut. I'm pretty sure I only had the producer's cut.
There's less, like in the producer's cut, you can tell like there's less sound. There's less like they didn't finish, like they're like not finished scenes completely and everything, but like totally different like feel, totally different like story, even like the way that they like have different scenes and like they explain things that aren't explained in the theatrical cut, things that should have been in the actual movie, in my opinion. But no, it's interesting watching the 2 of them.
I don't have any after 3. I would have 4.
It's hard, man.
That fucking mask. That is such a joy.
I know. The 4 mask is not good.
Like I will admit, after 3, it's hard to watch. It is.
Oh yeah. The only reason I have any love for like 4 through 6, and maybe even a little H2O, is just nostalgia at this point.
Right.
But like all I need out of the Halloween series is the first one and the third one, and for some reason I'll never know, Rob Zombie's H2 I love.
There's something about it, man. There is something about it. I will give you that.
Yeah, he's fucking brutal in that, Michael. Like a real brutal
just
Michael.
A different film, man. It's so different.
Yeah,
it stands on its own. It is like nothing else in the series or anything else, man. It just him and his wife was on some trip when they made that, man.
And there's definitely some shit that's still stupid, like the whole white horse stuff and Michael talking. I don't really care if he talks or not. Like at this point, it doesn't matter. Go for broke, try something new. But I feel like a lot of people are starting to come around to Rob Zombie's original remake after the trilogy that we've gotten, the most recent trilogy.
I wasn't too big on Rob Zombie's Halloween when it first came out, but it's grown on me a lot more.
Yeah.
They finally came around to corpses. Corpses is actually liked now. And I never thought I'd ever see that because I went to the theater and seen that with my oldest son's mom. When we were together for 12 years. We went to the theater and seen that. And when it was over, I remember people standing up going, I thought this was supposed to be scary and all this. And I heard nothing but bullshit for years. Well, it sucks. It's stupid. It's trying to be Chainsaw Massacre. It's this. And then
I love House of a Thousand Corpses. I love
House of a Thousand Corpses. That definitely clicked with me right away.
Oh, me too.
I saw that, I was like, this is pretty cool. Like, I wasn't like super crazy about it, but I did enjoy it when the first time I saw it.
Yeah,
I love that movie. Very well made. And as I say this with Tarantino, as much as I say with Zombie, they're very known for wearing their influences wide on their sleeves. Like when you watch a Tarantino film, you know that he's using influences and homages to a million other films and stuff, and same with Zombie, and you accept that or you don't. Like I feel like that's what people either don't like Zombie stuff or they do, or they like some of it. You got to accept that because it's very Texas Chainsaw. Like it couldn't be more Texas Chainsaw if it tried. Like, but it's just what he created with it is great. Like it's not. I think his best
he was able to put his own spin on that shit.
Yeah,
and that's what I really appreciate about it.
And make characters that like are iconic now. I mean, the Fireflies and Captain Spaulding and stuff are iconic horror characters, and he relaunched so many careers, like horror, like bringing back horror icons, like Karen Black for House of a Thousand Corpses. Who else? Dee Wallace. He had in a few of his films. He's brought back a lot of actors, the same as Tarantino.
Yeah, I know the grandpa. He was in that 1973 King Kong movie with Jeff Bridges.
Yeah. The grandpa.
I forget his name. I always forget his name.
His crazy stand up in the house. That's so funny. He just screamed, "Ah!" That's so funny.
Eat your mother's pussy.
That's so funny. He's licking and chomping on her pussy. That's so funny.
Yeah.
That's such a great movie. It's my favorite by him.
Up, Grandma.
Yeah, you're gonna wake up, Grandma. Oh, that's such a great movie.
Creepy old man always. But I mean, you guys talk about Tarantino. I am a huge Tarantino fan. To me, I don't think Tarantino's capable of making bad films. Anything less than good.
Oh yeah.
Well, he's really good.
The only film that I don't think it's not a good film, like you just said. So, but the only one that doesn't work for me is The Hateful Eight. Really? And I only saw it when it came out and another time. So
I love The Hateful Eight, dude.
Yeah, that one never worked just for me.
I love that movie.
But Inglourious Bastards is my favorite of his and a masterpiece. Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, Kill Bill, everything else like by him is phenomenal. Death Proof is another lower one for me, but it's still a good movie.
Yeah, I feel like one movie that gets like no credit is Kill Bill 2. Everybody hates Kill Bill 2.
I just lump it. I see him as one film. I just see him as Kill Bill.
They're both equal, man. They're both fucking kick ass.
Well, the whole film is what's it called again? The Whole Bloody Affair.
I
Like when
think
you
yeah,
watch 1 and 2 is like the whole film,
yeah,
which is like that's another thing. I wish we would get a Blu-ray for that.
yeah. Just it all released as one
What about
film.
Reservoir Dogs? Oh shit.
Because yeah, that's how I can't watch like Kill Bill Volume 1 and then not watch Volume 2 afterwards.
I
Right.
don't understand liking one and not liking the other. I don't get that, man.
The same with the remakes from 2017 and the year after, or whatever. I don't get the hate on the second part.
I don't like second part that much. I
Yeah,
don't hate it,
I could see it, but I don't I
but I think
like
the
if
first is so much better.
yeah. You know what it is? I think it's just the kids' version of the story is a lot more compelling and was handled better. But that's the thing with it is that it's my favorite Stephen King novel, and as you read through the novel, like as it gets to the end, like you're going through chapters so fast, and like sentences are being completed in the future from the past. So that's they're interweaving the children's story and the adult
Mhm.
story. You can't recreate that in a film medium, and that's why I think they always fail to completely capture that story, both in like the miniseries back in the day and in these remakes. Like they did a good job. I don't
Why do they
really.
separate them? Do you know why they separate them? I mean,
I
have
probably
favorite
just
story?
for probably just either for time because
Yeah,
it would have been like a 4 hour movie, or
right.
and probably just to make more money because they knew that if they
Well,
released a second time movie that they were going to
right,
make
but
more money on that.
they still could have mixed up and told the story back and forth and went back and forth and tried, like the story is and like the made for TV one is, and still made a part one and a part two. Why
Yeah,
couldn't they separated the
yeah,
kids from the
I don't know what the decision was to separate the kid story from the adult story. Because I mean, as even though the first one was very very well handled with the kids, I felt the second one was pretty well handled. It's not as
yeah,
exciting. It doesn't draw you in as much. Like you feel more for the like, and that was popular. Like right after
yeah,
Stranger Things became such a hit, like with the
right.
'80s like kid group and stuff like that. Like that was a big thing then. So they piggy-tailed off like the success of that, and it worked. Like that whole the
Which was
kids
done a long time
dynamic
ago.
is great, and then the second one's missing that. So that's the only reason I could see like it being different. For me though, quality wise, it's pretty much equal from the first to the second one. It's so hard to tell that story. Like I said, just in the film medium.
They were basically reaching back with the whole kid group thing. They're basically reaching back to the Goonies and the Stand
Oh
By
yeah,
Me and things like
hmm
that. So they just kind of
exactly.
brought it, which was a really good idea. Come to think of it, that was probably why they did that. They wanted one whole film of the kids group, not
Yeah.
flashing back and forth, but that whole kid vibe together.
hmm
Probably a big fan of Goonies and shit like that.
Oh yeah, that's probably
Maybe
I guess is one of, if not the reason that they did
that
it
was
that
it.
way. And
Yeah,
that they would open with that one too. Have the kids film their story first, and then
yeah.
have the adults go back afterwards. I mean, it's chronologically, it happens that way too. But box office, if they're thinking box office, like people who are making a movie are,
Right.
makes sense.
Or just a way for him to tell it his way rather than the way the original one did. That way to
Yeah.
put his stamp on it rather than it be compared to, what I mean,
Oh
compared to the
yeah.
main TV.
I mean, Tim
Great
Curry
movie.
is phenomenal in the miniseries. But I've gone back and watched that miniseries a few years ago. It is not good. Like, it's not that good. Like nostalgia, I think plays a lot on people with that miniseries.
Skarsgård is just a creepy fellow, man.
Oh
Everything
yeah,
he does,
he's
he's a
great.
weird, creepy fucking dude. Even
Yeah,
in John
and
Wick
he
4,
plays
he's
it.
got a
He
creepy
plays it
grin.
well. He plays just weird and crazy, like very, very well. He was a
He's going
great
to be in
pick
the
for
Crow
Pennywise.
and Nosferatu. I believe he's playing Nosferatu also.
Yeah, let's see what
And
he's doing next.
I think it's Nosferatu, yeah, and I do believe he's going to play the Crow also.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
That's what I heard anyway.
Sweet.
But yeah, um, shit. All right, what we got here? Right here. What's going on? Let me talk to you. Yeah. Sorry, I was reaching back to LA Knight Wrestling. I always have to reach back to my roots sometimes.
There's apparently Eric says it's a Pet Cemetery prequel coming out in October
Yeah.
Yeah.
that Pam Grier is going to be in.
I didn't think that the remake was that terrible. I mean,
I
compared to
didn't
the
think it was
original,
terrible. Yeah, like people were going
it was
crazy over it.
good. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't dislike it. It was all right.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't pay for it, but if I did, I wouldn't say I want my money back. But it's not
I
like
just felt like there was like
it's
just
just
a few
forgettable.
missed opportunities with the remake or whatever the hell you want to call it.
Yeah, it was
He was never
just
gonna be able to fill those shoes, man. Fred Gwynn.
yeah, it was
There's
just
no
a
way he
remake
could do
that
it.
I knew would be meh, and then it came. I watched it. I went and then I never thought of it really again until just now.
That's probably why it
See
didn't
you
suck to
later.
me. That's
Yeah,
probably why it didn't suck to me, because I expected it to suck. And you know what I'm saying? When you go and expect somebody just to suck ass, and then you
yeah,
walk away going, "Well, that didn't completely suck." And things
yeah,
you expect to just love to death, you walk away going, "Damn."
yeah, exactly.
So how
Like
to look
it
at it, I
wasn't.
guess.
Yeah. It didn't deserve the huge hate train, but it was
Right? People just
mostly just
ripped that
forget.
motherfucker.
Yeah,
It sucked.
it was mostly just
I
forgettable.
just
And Pet
pictured a train of like a bunch of like vicious people just yelling and screaming. Like a hate
the
train
hate train.
foaming out the mouth. Fuck that movie.
Hey, dude, people are so
We hate
passionate
everything.
about shit. Like me, I was in a fucking lynch mob out for Jamie Lee Curtis after Halloween ends, man. I was trying to lead a lynch mob. I was like, let's get
Yeah.
that.
Oh, right. Dude, I can imagine being like them and dealing with that hate.
Like I was so
Pet
pissed.
Cemetery 2 is a great film, though. I will say Zodiac has said it in there. He likes it better than the first one. I'd argue that, and it's unreal when you realize that it's the same director and writer as the first one. Pet Cemetery 2 is out there.
I think that's another reason why the second one works too.
Yeah, and Clancy Brown is as phenomenal as always. He's bonkers in that.
Dude. I loved him as the fucking as the in Highlander. You couldn't get a much more fucking maniacal fucking just
Oh yeah,
psychopath, man.
he's always excellent. Fucking, he was in Dexter's and comeback
First time I ever
seasons and
seen him
stuff.
was Bad Boys. First thing I ever seen him in Sean Penn back in '83.
I just saw him in something like I was rewatching something, an older movie, and he was in it. It was an early role for him, and now I can't think of what movie it was. But I was looking, I was like, "Is that Clancy Brown like young?" And it was, and I can't think of the movie now.
1983 was Bad Boys, and he's in there for Sean Penn and S.C. Morales and I can't remember his fucking name. The dude that played Dirty Harry's partner in the first movie, uh, Renee Santoni. And it's got a hell of a cast. Watch Bad Boys from 1983, man. It's got a young, big, fit fucking Clancy Brown, and he's an asshole in that too.
Yeah, he's. I've always loved him. I still can't get over. He does the voice of Krusty Krab, the crab guy in SpongeBob,
Yeah,
and he's been doing it forever too.
Krabs. Yeah,
Yeah,
Mr. Krabs. I was like, what?
my daughter loves that show. That's like all she watches. Is SpongeBob.
So both of my sons, yes.
So if anything, we hear fucking Clancy Brown on a daily basis.
That fucking laughs, man. I'm ready. It's like, damn. Yeah. But I was like SpongeBob too, man. Patrick. My favorite character in that whole cartoon, man, like Plankton is I
Yeah,
love
he's a
Plankton.
great little bad dude. He's a
He's
great little. He's like self fulfills all his demise, like all his failures.
he sees it too. He sees it.
Yeah,
He calls it. He's all like all great, and he's like expecting to kick across the street.
he's always
I'm gonna kick
gloating.
your press. Yeah. I love him, man.
He always celebrates way too early. He's like, "Yes, I've done it," and then everything just goes to shit.
Yeah. He expects his demise kind of like Sylvester or Tom from Tom and Jerry and shit like that. It's like, yeah, you already know.
Tom and Jerry is a classic show too. We're
There's
talking
one thing
SpongeBob and Tom and Jerry here on Italian Horror Night,
like,
and I wouldn't have it any other
that
way.
show ended. That show ended. Now
Alright.
this is this show.
Alright,
Yo,
come
you
on.
can talk about Mickey Mouse with Giallo's. He's wearing gloves.
Yeah.
That's true.
No?
Yeah.
Doesn't that
That's
count?
true. Yeah,
Mickey
he's a
Mouse is
killer.
a Giallo, dude.
He's
In some cartoons,
confirmed today. He
in
is
some
a
cartoons,
Giallo
you
Mickey
don't say
Mouse.
hello.
He's the one that's never been caught. All the Giallo killers in the films where they're never caught. It was Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
He was the murderer in all of them. The case
Man,
has been busted open.
you watch those old cartoons, man. Those are creepier than any fucking show you put on. Did you that weird fucking laugh?
Oh
And
yeah,
you're chasing them down and stabbing them and tying them to railroad
they
tracks.
knew how to scare the shit out of kids back then.
Keith
They
just
were
did
good at
that
it.
like way too good, too. He just made that noise like way too good. It like gave me a quick flashback.
Yeah. Hey,
Saturday morning cartoons.
I had a rough childhood, man. I didn't have any childhood. I got thrown right through the ringer immediately. It's like, this is how horrible life can be. Take this, motherfucker. You want to eat? Go fucking kill something and fucking eat it. No, I'm joking.
So that,
But I mean,
yeah, I gotta see that. Bad Boys.
So now I'm a kid. I didn't get to be a kid then, so now I am, damn it. Now I collect toys and shit.
There you go.
I get toys now, damn it. I ain't getting on them, but I got the more I want now. Hey, Steele, how you doing, man?
What's up, Steel?
John Steele. Still, he and I used to do a stream every other Tuesday, and then I took a few weeks off from doing it, and I decided to do them by myself for a while, and it was only supposed to be like a month, because I want to basically do it by myself and just do a commentary. The chat didn't talk as much then, so I'm gonna do a commentary, and then it turned into like 6 months full of me doing Monday and Tuesday, both Monday and Tuesday, every movie with me doing like commentary throughout all of them, just me. And I got locked into that. And then the chat started talking to me a lot and shit. And, and then I totally lost the commentary. But I'd much rather have it like that, though, where, because I got a close little chat. I think we all have the same people coming in and out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is one way where they can come and see all three of us. You know what I mean? Where we're just fucking shooting the shit about Italian horror, expecting to watch a movie, I think. But hey,
that's funny. Yeah, definitely.
I just wanted one show where I wasn't watching. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just wanted one that was a little different, one where I could actually discuss and not worry about missing the film or discussing that particular film with the chat.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's, and like I said earlier, I think it's a good counterpoint to watch parties we all do together, or two of us, or separately on each other channels. It's a nice compliment to that too.
Yeah, so it's like, everybody knows how much I like to talk, so this is it's my alley. Like after an hour or whatever, we're talking about whichever Giallo or Italian horror, say maybe zombie one day, which is up to me. And my choice, it'll definitely be there. So if somebody doesn't hit it before I do, I will. But yeah, it's just a way to really be able to sit and talk about all that. And shit, again, something like zombie that everybody knows so really well, they'll be talking about it just as much or more than we are.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Torso, a lot of people don't know, don't know as well. I'm surprised we maintained, a good number.
Well, that's the good thing too, is that it also will introduce people to some of these movies that they might never have seen and have them check them out.
Definitely. That's basically what these were originally when people get together and discuss them. That's what they were for.
Yeah.
Is, they would take reference from that. You know what I mean? It's the same thing as watching somebody's collection video. You're watching to see what they have, but you're also along that line, you're seeing a lot of shit that you want to get. Same type of aspect.
Exactly. So I think that works.
So the G-rated movie for Disney called The Straight Story. I never heard of that, David Lynch.
No, David Lynch, yeah. He did a
G-rated movie for Disney. I didn't know that.
Definitely a unique one in his filmography for sure.
Lynch's, yeah. Absolutely. I haven't tried Eraserhead. I've never seen Eraserhead either.
No, that's you got to watch Eraserhead. That's such a great one.
That's another one I feel like you can't just throw on either.
Oh no, that I still haven't figured out what that movie's about after probably close to 100 watches. That's such a crazy. All of his films, all of Lynch is just forever an enigma. All of his films and Twin Peaks.
Oh yeah, I know now. Laugh out loud. I came in without looking. You didn't read my little thing, my little description. I'm completely disturbed.
Apparently, people don't read things.
You don't care. You hate me.
Right.
She hates me. She won't read it. No, I always knew it. You just join just to humor me, don't you? Every time she takes that time out of her day just to humor me.
Hey,
Just
Gary.
so I can fool him.
And yeah, Jay, Lost Highway is a trip. I'll be doing videos on more Lynch's stuff soon and in a special month that one person in chat knows.
Yeah, I'm like a four back I was. Damn. When we talked about doing this, JT, was you thinking about was you considering it in like a review style, or was you thinking the same thing as me for discussion?
Yeah, I was thinking discussion wise. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was thinking about that and I realized that and talked because this didn't get a whole lot of talking before we just kind of figured this out. And then last week when that shit happened, I had to take care of personal shit.
Yeah.
We straight out discussed and we made it clear this will give us plenty of time to discuss this and get this ready. And then we still didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we talked about this for like a month.
Oh yeah. Well,
JT's been telling me for 2 months, man. When you do this, I'm telling you.
Yeah, when I thought of the idea, it's been a while, but at least we got it. We got the first episode down.
Because people talk. I just figured maybe you'd just saying, it'd be a good idea, or maybe one day we'd do it. But then you start mentioning all the time, and I was like, okay, maybe he really does want to do it like soon. So then I started actually making plans, and
good shit. Yeah, Zodiac, you got to see Mulholland Drive. Mulholland Drive is amazing.
Yeah, I still don't. I know Criterion released that. I got that. I got to get quite a few more. I still got to pick up Naked Lunch, Mulholland Drive.
Naked Lunch is a crazy ass movie.
I mean, I would like to get the Lost Highway one too. I don't have that. I still have that on DVD.
Yeah.
No, I'm not a big fan of Brandon Cronenberg. My 16-year-old thinks I'm out of my mind, but I can't say there's anyone. I've seen 3 of his films. I've seen Antiviral, I've seen Possessor, and I've seen, of course, Infinity Pool. Infinity Pool I like the best out of all of them.
I loved it.
Antiviral, about the first 45 minutes, I was into that, and somehow after that, it lost me. I don't know why. I'm just not into it.
Antiviral's I didn't see one of his films, and it was the middle one. I saw Antiviral. I didn't see Possessor, and I saw Infinity Pool, which I loved. Infinity Pool. I thought it was fantastic. And I don't remember Antiviral much. I remember enjoying it for the most part. That's something I actually got to revisit. Because Possessor is the one I missed.
Whole concept had me lost, but by the time it seemed the second half seemed to take too long to happen somehow. I don't know. It just seemed to stall. It's like the pace of it somehow in about the middle it lost its pace, and then the second half seemed so much longer.
Yeah.
Like it seemed like a long ass movie, and that's always a bad sign.
Yeah, I gotta rewatch that and watch Possessor. Maybe I'll do like a back to back.
I'm trying to wait till there's a uncut Blu-ray. Well, there is an uncut Blu-ray for Infinity Pool, but I'm waiting for the price to like come down.
Yeah,
$35 right now. Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, that's nuts. I had to wait for it to come down, even though it is a fantastic
for it to come down
movie.
to like at least 15, maybe.
To me, he just doesn't finish well. I guess that's my problem with it. To me, he doesn't finish well. In my opinion, he starts well and doesn't finish well. That's how I felt.
There's a lot of directors and writers who have that problem. I mean, Stephen King has an issue ending his stories, and I'm a huge Stephen King fan. I'll I'll argue that all day long. He has a very, very hard time ending his stories.
It's almost like trying to manage time throughout like making a movie. It's like if you don't know how to manage that time well,
Yeah,
you might not have a film that's going to come out looking complete.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, pacing is so important with that.
Hmm.
So, like, Stephen King has always had an issue with ending most of his stories. That's why I think The Shining and It are both his best books, because he actually handles the endings pretty well in those.
Where do you stand? I'm gonna ask you guys this. Where do you guys stand on Kubrick movie versus King book?
Say this
Um,
again?
the
Kubrick
book
movie
versus the
versus
movie.
King book. Two different things, right?
I don't
King
know if
book.
I'm hearing you right.
I like he's saying
Stephen King
Stephen
book
King's
of The
book,
Shining
Stephen
or
King's books?
yeah,
versus
versus Kubrick's movie of The Shining.
right.
See, I like The Shining so much, like the movie, but that's a tough question, man.
I love to ask people this. You know what I mean?
I'd say the book. As much as I do love The Shining, like I've said in my I think my video for it, that it's not like a high up film for me, like a favorite. So the book for me, like I've
Kubrick's
always
The
Yeah, I
Shining.
loved the
mean,
book.
yeah,
Kubrick's The
it's
Shining is one
definitely
of my favorites.
obvious the book. I mean, but
No, the
I
movie,
don't
the
know.
movie,
It's so hard to pick that one. So that's a tough question, man.
I mean, it's
the
Kubrick, so
movie
I
all
mean,
day.
you can't beat Kubrick with anything movie wise. So in that medium, I feel
Next
like
question.
I feel I feel like in that medium, in a film medium, Kubrick's version is
Thank
vastly
you.
superior to Stephen King's miniseries. Like it's not
Thank
even
you,
like
buddy.
a
Yep,
discussion.
exactly. Kubrick too. Steele says Kubrick too. Exactly. See, exactly.
Actually, still haven't read or seen Doctor Sleep, and I just got the
Dude, Doctor
novel
Sleep, the
recently.
movie, really surprised me.
That's what I heard from many people. That's
Like I
why
thought it was gonna be like just I thought it
It's
was gonna be
good,
like a
but
decent watch going into it, but I got locked into it so fast.
yeah, I wanted to read the book before I saw it, so I held off on seeing it for years, and then never read the book. But now I just bought the book like a few months ago, so I'm
my
gonna start
fiance
reading that
loves it.
before I watch it.
She loves it. I think it's all right. It's all right. Not bad. Not bad. Um, yeah, I had a couple of people there. Yeah, most definitely. Supposed to affected Doctor Sleep. Yeah, I don't dislike
Yeah,
Doctor Sleep. I
yeah,
just
I've been
don't.
hearing mostly great things about it for years, both the book and the
Yeah,
film. And
Like
it's
even the look of
Mike
the
Flanagan.
hotel. Like the look of the hotel, like it's very accurate.
Yeah,
you know what's funny is Henry Thomas. There's a flashback of Jack Torrance. You know, the Jack Nicholson Jack Torrance, and
mm,
Henry Thomas is playing it.
mm,
Henry Thomas
yeah,
is playing Jack Torrance. I look close. I said, "Is that fucking Henry Thomas? From fucking E.T.?" It
that's
sure was.
cool. Yeah, I mean, it's Mike Flanagan, so I love pretty much everything that Mike Flanagan has done
Right?
up
He loves
until I haven't seen the last few things he's done, but like around when he did Haunting Hill House, right, on Netflix. I think that right around then I kind of fell off watching his newer stuff, but everything like from what was it, In Absentia, yeah,
yeah.
onward, love all the Flanagan stuff. Oculus is such a great movie.
Oh, yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I have that.
I like Henry
Confusing as
Double.
shit, but I love that movie.
Yeah,
It's very thought provoking though.
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
It is. Um, yeah. Shit. What was I gonna say? What was he talking about for the Oculus and stuff? Shit. It went from Harry Thomas to something, and look, I had a pretty good thing for me. Oh, probably was a lie. I guess I don't know. Must have been a lie.
It was Mickey Mouse.
No, I didn't make it.
yeah. Mickey Mouse is now confirmed a killer,
A Giallo.
a Giallo killer. Should add Mickey Mouse to the logo for the show. Just Mickey Mouse. But then eventually you gotta worry about his likeness.
Extra clickbait.
Yeah. Right.
It's this
What
fucking Mickey Mouse logo. Let's click on
Yeah.
this.
It's
Probably
just
would get more clicks too.
Italian horror fucking talk. I'm like, what does this have to do with Mickey Mouse? It's like, well, you should have saw episode 1. You would know.
I would definitely. I would know you two had completely fucking lost it at that point. Oh, I'd be like,
You'd
never
be super
mind.
mad at us. He wouldn't talk to us for a
Never mind.
couple weeks. Be all pissed off.
I got something to do on Thursday. Yeah, but no. What I was gonna say is we were talking about Doctor Sleep. It does got a kick-ass villain there. She's called the Hat, and she does do a damn good job.
What's her name again? I like her a lot as an actress.
Oh, the actress
name?
Oh, I know. I think I know.
She's in the Dune movies too. She plays like Paul Atreides' mother.
I think I know who you mean. Just from I know.
Oh, Rebecca Ferguson or something like that. I think her name is.
I don't remember.
I've seen clips like back when the movie came out, and I can picture she wears a hat and shit.
Yeah.
Her name's Rebecca Ferguson.
Rose the Hat is what this her name is.
Cool.
Yeah, the actress's name is Rebecca Ferguson.
Oh, Zodiac, you checked out the Monster Project? Yeah, it's a great found footage movie. That's definitely an underrated one.
Shoot up, man. Oh man, Lost Road. Oh, we're so fucking bitching here, man. I'm lost where I was at. Somebody was asking me something, and I completely fucking lost it. Because this thing's going stupid on me because I have all of my memory taken up on my phone. I got 32 gigs on here, and I got like 31 and a half taken.
Yeah, so that's the same with my laptop too.
Stupid.
I always run out of space.
I haven't got a fucking notification from YouTube in fucking 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because it affects that shit. It just doesn't have enough left to be able to. And I understand it. If you got 32 gigs, you should be able to use it. But
I know, but then it's the system that takes up like half of that space already. Like, and you don't even really have the space they say that you do. It's bullshit.
Right. And if you get we're close to your limit of what you have, then it just causes the phone to malfunction.
Yeah. Well, that happens with me when I'm recording video sometimes. If I don't check my storage before I record, and then it hits that limit, then it'll stop the recording.
Yeah, I always get the notice on that.
Yeah.
It'll be like the same thing for like when my battery's dying. I'll be sitting there too, like talking, and I see it pop up. I'm like, I feel like, oh motherfucker! Like every time.
I don't want to get rid of nothing,
Yeah, exactly.
Every time I see that though, I'm like, you fucking motherfucker. I feel like saying that shit.
You know that something's about to go wrong. And like back before I edited the shit together, I was just fucking like, well, part 1, part 2. Like, you think I'm re-recording that last 45 minutes? There's no way. You're like, at least now I've even went back and I've taken a few that happened to and spliced them together and put them up again as one. But back then I was like, I ain't doing that. Get out of here.
You working tonight, Ninja? Well, what am I asking? Ninja works practically every night.
Dude, he works in his sleep, bro.
Well, it's his day, but yeah, he does, man. He's a worker.
Oh yeah, man. Absolutely.
Working, man.
Yeah, I guess I think I'm gonna head just because now I'm in a creative mood and I gotta do Ringu Spiral, and I want to keep this creative mood before I get tired and lay down and fall asleep. But
yeah, you look like you're starting to come down now, and you're gonna end up getting hungry and tired.
Yeah, I know exactly. No, glad that we finally got this first one out. I think it was good, man. Fucking great pick too. It was great to rewatch Torso.
And, I like to watch Torso in the summertime too. It's like, I don't know, it fits very, very well to watch throughout the summer.
I can see that. I mean, I guess. Why so?
It's because there's like nice weather throughout it.
Okay, I can see that.
Like, I don't know, like just like even that scene I was talking about, like
It
when
is
all the
sunny as
women
fuck
are
in
like
here.
sunbathing when that creeper fucking guy comes up with the milk and the bread. Like
It's Italy,
it's like
man.
beautiful
Yeah,
weather
Italy's just
that's for
outside,
Italy,
you
man.
sure.
know? It seems like they're in the middle of summer or something like that.
Well, that's just Italy.
Yeah.
That's just how Italy looks, man.
Oh
Italy's
yeah.
just a cool country, man. It just
No,
it,
Italy is
it's so
beautiful.
vibe to it. It's all old
Absolutely.
school. It's all that old shit, that old stone and those bridges.
Yep.
I love to see that shit.
Yeah, no, it's nice. But yeah, man, definitely. So I'll do the next episode, not next week, because me and Sean have something. So the following week is the 3rd, I think. So I'll figure out the movie by the end of the weekend. I'll let you both know.
All right.
Yeah, I had a
All
good
right.
time doing this.
Yeah, so that's definitely hope everybody in chat had fun, and we'll be seeing you guys again, doing it again. So
Take it easy,
take
man.
care, guys.
Yeah,
Talk
have
to
a
you guys
good
soon.
weekend, everyone.
What's up?
All right, am I staying on with you? I don't want to jump right off, but unless you're hanging out.
That's up to you. Yeah, I'm gonna stick around for a few minutes here and bullshit with the chat and everything. So yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
shipped out your package today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I sent you an email with the tracking number.
All right. Yeah, I'm not
But
getting
it's,
any notifications, so I'm just gonna have to check shit.
dude, just, whenever you feel like checking it. But I just figured I'd let you know that your package is shipped out right now. So it
Awesome,
should
man.
be there by
Appreciate
Monday
it.
at the latest.
Cool. I appreciate that. Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem, dude.
Fucking awesome, man. Fucking awesome. Yeah, I don't think I know Zodiac, but it's nice to meet you, man. Thanks for coming. I'm imagining Zodiac is a subscriber of JT.
Yeah, I've seen Zodiac in here a few times and some other
Here,
watch parties.
here, really?
Yeah.
And it must have been when I was talking shit and
I
fucking
mean, I'm
bullshitting about
still
shit.
like getting acquainted with the channel, but I've seen the name quite a few times in different chats, so.
I didn't remember seeing him here. Like I said, I must have been running my mouth and talking. That's
Like
just what I do.
I'm definitely familiar with that avatar, the St. Louis Cardinals avatar, so.
Right, right. But yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, we still need to come up with this and that and the intro, and I gotta remember to throw the pics in there while I'm talking to, talking and shit. But that's something we'll probably all have to get used to if everybody wants to do it. I just choose
Right.
to do it.
Dude, this will continue to. I'm sure you'll add some shit to it as the weeks go on. We'll find
And,
ways of changing it up and stuff,
and that's up to each person. You know what I mean? When it gets to each person's channel, to their turn, it's their choice what they want to do with that particular night. If you want to throw pictures
Right.
in, cool. If you don't, fine.
It's like the whole point of it is like us three taking turns hosting it. So.
Yes, and presenting it however you want.
Right.
That's the point. That way it's 33.3%, 33.3%, 33.3%.
If you want to stay on here for like what, like want to run this to like 2 hours and then jump off? We're at 152 right now.
Okay, this is right. Yeah, it'll be some time in the next probably 10 to 20 minutes is when I jump off. Like I said,
Okay.
it's up to you whenever you want to, man. If you're one,
Yeah, I'll probably jump off of here at like the 2 hour mark.
All right, man. It with me, it just kind of depends. I'm gonna talking bullshit with people for a few minutes here.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's always wise to acknowledge the chat. Got to do that.
I fucking love it, man. I fucking love it. That's my favorite thing. Let me see.
I'll be right back. Give me a second.
Alien 3, Austin. Wow, man. Oof. It has its good. People tend to shit on it, and I know why they do. Not because Alien 3 is a bad movie necessarily. It's because of how they killed off the Newt and the Hitler. If you take that part out, it's not bad. It's a good idea. It takes place at that prison on that planet. It's not a bad film. It has its problems, but like I said, I think the hate comes from Alien 3 because they killed off 2 characters before it even got started. They didn't continue on with 2 characters that people liked a lot. That's why people hate them. Other than that, like I said, if you take that away, it's not terrible. It's a shitload better than Resurrection. Oh my god.
I've always been a fan of I'm thinking of Halloween 3 now. No, Alien 3. I've always been a fan of it, but I'd
Yeah,
say
I
over the
mean,
years it's certainly like it's Alien 3 for me. Like it gets better the more I watch it. Really, like I appreciate it more the more I watch it.
yeah, I
But
mean,
I love all the Alien films though. At the same time,
I like Prometheus and Alien Covenant too. Yeah, I happen to
yeah, I
love
liked
the
Covenant,
David
but
Fincher.
everybody hates Covenant, man. Everybody like that's one film I refuse to even try to defend because you can never have like a
No,
I don't know an agreement with somebody on that one.
I like Covenant, man, a lot actually.
I'm surprised to hear that because I rarely hear anyone saying that they like Covenant. But I
It's
enjoyed it for what it was. It wasn't
one
amazing,
of my
but
favorites.
I don't know, dude. I really enjoy Alien films.
Here goes my favorites. It goes the first Alien, Aliens, Prometheus, Alien Covenant, and then Alien 3, and then Resurrection.
Mine pretty much goes in order, like the way the films go. Like that would pretty much be my ranking. As boring as that sounds, like that would pretty much be my ranking.
Oh, Zodiac says, yeah, he's primarily a sub there, but he's what someone say primarily the wrestling video. Yeah, I would actually like to do that a little more often. But and I could come out and wing it myself. But there is a real lot. I mean, there's kind of people in this particular community to do wrestling with, but then again, there's not. It just depends. There's a couple. Um, and I don't know. I guess I could, but I really don't want. I don't feel like coming and having a wrestling conversation by myself on the panel. Wrestling's not something that I'm going to do that with. You know, horror I can do that all day by myself. No big deal. I did it for a long time, but I don't know if I want to do wrestling alone, or I would do it more. But when I get somebody to join me on the really is passionate about it and shit on the panel, yeah, I'll do it again there. Like after Superstar Billy Graham died, you know, we did that wrestling show. Also because it's a sequel to Aliens. It's a hard movie to pull. Well, yeah, especially if you kill two of the most beloved characters too, man. You know what I mean? People love fucking Newt and Hicks, and it pissed them off that they didn't get a chance to see them go any further. That's what it is.
Yeah.
They fucking
Yeah, I
just
agree with that a lot actually.
they
Two characters that
unceremoniously
like
fucking off
just
them.
and it's like, at the same time like they didn't really get like a fair death. Like if you're
No,
gonna kill them, it's like, oh, you just killed him in that plane crash. Like,
they
that was it.
they were dead when it
Or
started,
that
and
ship,
people were
whatever
like,
that ship
"Fuck!"
was called.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They were already dead, and people were like, "Fuck!" Billy Newton and Hicks was smart. Eric says, "Wow, this is a." Most people don't say. Okay, it made Ridley more of an outsider to the criminals since he was, Yeah, well, yeah, Eric, but here's what I look at it. That's true, but I don't think that would have been the story if Hicks and Newt were still around. I don't think they would have been on that first plane. They did that because they were. You know what I mean? If they'd have been around, they wouldn't have, because she couldn't have been in nearly as much danger. There would have been no point.
Yeah.
They would have done that story would have been completely different. So readers too. I tell you what, man, that David character that Michael Fassbender plays is fucking just entertaining as hell. Man. He is
Yeah,
such a
right. He's
fucking
really good at playing an android.
and the reason and the same thing happens between Prometheus and Alien Covenant. People like Shaw a lot. And they, you know what I mean? And when you start, Shaw's dead. Not only dead, but oh my god, mutilated and all kinds of funky shit. And that pissed
Yeah.
people off too. But Danny, you know, she's a good character. She's not good at Shaw, but Danny's a good character too.
Hmm.
I like something about it. Something I like. I am looking forward to Alien Romulus. That's yeah, because that's done by Alvarez, man. That did the Evil Dead remake. Freddy Alvarez is doing it, so I have a lot of faith in that. Hope I'm not disappointed. Newton Hicks are in Dark Horse Comic. Yep, they do continue on. You're right. Well, yeah. Well, I'm sorry, guys, but I did not like the kid that played Newt. that hype is fucking screech he does. I'd like to slap the shit right out of her. That is unnecessary fucking screeching. She can scream, but she just immediately stops and she's fucking shaking glass, man, with that fucking screech. If you shut that fucking mouth of hers and that screech up, she's fine. But I just wanted to strangle that little kid. I'm sorry. Whatever's gonna make her shut the fuck up and stop doing that goddamn ridiculous, unnecessary scream. I come up like an old grouchy old man. They're like, that damn kids and no respect up. That's I probably do. Yeah, I think I am starting to sound like a grouchy, crafty old man. Really, I'm gonna be that old man that is gonna bitch about the kids across the street, outside playing and shit, and they'll be running through the yard. Like, get your damn kids out of my yard. I hope I'm not.
Yeah,
Well,
right. I hope not. I mean, I already noticed like there's here and there where like I'm kind of starting to talk to myself, so I think the old age is like kind of creeping up a little bit.
Yeah. I've been
But
talking
I
about my
mean, if you think
fiance and
about it,
stuff.
everybody talks to themselves. You just talk to yourself in your head. You just not everybody speaks out loud about it.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Eric and I have talked a lot about wrestling. Remember, Eric's and I've flown out to him. Whenever he's ready to talk about some wrestling, let me know, and we will. So, other than that, I've done it with Echo some, but me and Echo are we're cool, we're fine, but we only do something every once in a while because what I mean, we mix, but then again, we're very different too all at the same time. So it's nothing personal. We're very different, and he's got a different crowd he runs with than me. You know what I mean? So we just don't cross much.
Right. No, I
Nothing,
hear you.
yeah, nothing personal. We just don't come across each other a whole lot.
All right, I'm
But
gonna
yeah,
jump off of here.
all right, man.
But yeah. What do you got anything planned? Oh well, you got something. What movie you watching on Sunday?
Devil Times 5. I'm still keeping my creepy kids thing
I
going.
had that on Blu-ray, so I'll try to be there for that. That's at 1 o'clock, right?
Yep.
Eastern
1
Standard Time.
Yep. 1 p.m. Eastern.
All right. So other than that, I mean, I don't know. I don't really have anything super planned for the weekend, but either way, I'll stay in touch with you.
All right.
And you should have your package by Monday.
Cool. Thanks again, man. I appreciate that
Yeah,
a
no
lot.
problem, buddy. I
So much.
just like I said, I
Oh,
remember I
beautiful.
told you I was like, I can't promise you because I could end up going there and they don't have it. And the fucked up
Yeah.
thing was like, I walked in the door and there's like a movie rack when you walk in the door at Best Buy, and the thing was empty. I could see where the steelbook was, and it was empty. And I was like, I guess I missed out on it. So then I went over to a different rack that's further in the back,
Yeah.
and there it was sitting by itself on a rack all by itself. And I was like, oh shit, they got one left.
Fate wanted
So
me to have it, man. See, that was mine. Everybody
yeah,
that touched it shocked them.
yeah, yeah.
I
I mean,
I
at the same
gladly
time,
let
like
go of
it
that.
worked out because I had to pick up some other things anyway. So
Yeah, and you ended up getting yourself the hospitality courses, dude. That's a cool steelbook, man.
yeah, I still haven't
Really
opened it up yet, but I don't know what like I'm probably gonna open it up at some point. But I do have the box set already
yeah,
that comes with the lobby cards and stuff and the poster. It's the
yeah.
same
So I
exact
mean, you don't
release.
need to. It doesn't come with much more stuff. It's just a cool ass looking steelbook. So
That's the
even
thing. Like that's
if
probably why
you don't,
that's why I really want to open it. I want to see like what it looks like on the inside without that slipcase.
I can show you. That's
You
up
know
to you.
what? Grab it real quick.
I'm saying I can show you that way. You don't have to open your.
Yeah, I want to see what the inside looks like real quick. Because I mean, for me to really just hurry up and open it, like there's no reason. I already have
Right.
it.
Leave a seal.
Yeah, with the Dr. Satan on there, it looks so fucking evil, dude.
Yeah. Here. Open it up all the way and just put it out here because I think it's one picture they usually are. Oh,
Right.
fucking light. Here, let me kill this fucking light.
I mean, I can see it, but yeah.
And then on the inside,
It's a 2-disc, right? Or a 1?
Yep.
Probably a
Yeah.
1.
Yeah. No, that's 2 discs.
Got 2
There's
discs
a
in it, right?
special features disc and then the film disc. And then here's the
Okay.
inside here. I might need to light shit first than I thought.
Yeah, it's kind of like harder to see now. Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, it's the inside of the murder ride.
Yeah. So yeah, there it is, man.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I'm really glad I was able to get that. They only had 2 of those left.
How much are their Blu-rays? Their exclusive.
Well, the 4Ks are like $27.99,
Yeah,
and the regular Blu-rays I think are $21.99 for the exclusive
that's not bad.
steelbooks.
That's not bad. Oh.
That's the going rate nowadays, really.
Yeah. Well, unless you get like Screen Factory from Screen Factory or something.
I mean, like the average 4K is like 40 bucks. I mean, 30 bucks.
Theirs are
Like
like
when it's first released, and then eventually it'll drop down to like 25 or something like that.
theirs are like $35.99 or $36.99 or something like that. Screen Factory is their 4Ks, I do believe.
Well, yeah, other companies have, higher prices on certain ones.
But
It
usually
all
if they pay
varies.
$40, it's going to be the box set. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the Lighthouse, the limited edition box set that Arrow just released. It wasn't much more than what the Screen Factory 4Ks are, and it came with a shitload more. You know, you can get the big
Yeah.
gold poster, but
Yeah, I hear you.
I have fucking 200 big gold posters, so I'm not worried about it. I do. I got about 200 of those posters.
I mean, eventually you're gonna have to stop ordering it with the poster. You're gonna run out of room.
I don't do it very often anymore at all. When I get them, I have people that I can get them off of secondhand, where I can get them a lot cheaper than what they do, and it doesn't have shipping like that, and it doesn't have the poster. But I got all the best posters pretty much, man. Dolls and all that fucking shit. I have all those. I have all 3 fucking Sleepaway Camp.
Do you have the burning one?
No, I wish I did.
Damn, dude, I would love to have that one. I missed out on that one.
I missed the burning one and the fog one. I wish I'd have got both of those.
Yeah, they're
But
both nice.
but I do have like Halloween 3 and fuck man, a lot of Chainsaw Massacre 2, tons of them, man. Fuck, yeah, really fucking good ones, dude.
I had the Friday the 13th ones, the 2 that
Yeah,
came with the box set.
yeah, I got all those. Escape from New York ones. I got fucking fuck. It's on Day of the Dead. A lot of hard to find ones, but not the burning or the fog. I wish I did. Oh, I don't have Trick or Treat either, and that pisses me off. But that's 3 I wish I had.
All right, dude. I'll talk to you over the weekend, man.
All right, man.
All right.
Have a good
Thanks
one.
again for staying on JT about getting this going. Though I'm glad we got this started.
Oh yeah. For some reason I never had any doubt really about it.
Yeah, it's just I know things just got a little busy there. It's hard to figure out when to start it, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, that's why it took so long because I was trying to figure out what the hell I was doing. Remember, I was doing that trivia thing too, and now
Well,
that
we
came down, I
also
decided to do it.
like it wasn't that the first choice with the laughing windows was a bad choice. It's just the fact that the movie is so rare, and it's actually hard to find a rip or a site to watch it on. That's what
Yeah,
is like that was like another setback. We probably would have did this last week if that wasn't like,
yeah.
if we picked a different movie. But I thought this was a wiser choice with going with Torso.
You can actually get it. You can actually get the DVD for around $10 at Amazon, but you don't do Amazon anymore, so it would probably show up broke.
I mean, $10 though, that's pretty cheap. I mean, I don't have it like I don't have like I don't know. Yeah, I should probably stay away from that. Myself, I don't know.
Or it was around like $9 or $10. You know what I mean? And of course you got Prime, it's free shipping. So it's like damn, it's just a DVD and it doesn't come with any kind of a limited edition shit. If it just breaks the case, you can always put it into a different case.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to see the movie, but it's like so obscure and hard to get. But that's a good price too.
They have it. They have it. It's just a DVD, but hey, So if you decide to go check it out, But
Yeah, I'll
yeah,
let you
man,
know if I do follow through with that, because isn't
cool.
that is an Italian horror film, right?
Yes, yeah. Oh yeah. I don't have it yet, but I got my check next week, and I'm thinking about getting it for like $9-10. If it's still that price, like I'll get it. Just because I like that shit. I trust JT's taste on it. If he says it's real good, I trust him.
Yeah, I'll have to I'll take a look at it, and consider it, because I do want to see it.
All right, man.
But yeah, have a good weekend, and I'll stay in touch with you.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Yeah, take care, buddy.
Yeah. And then there was one. I am still left here. I'll probably go for maybe another 5, 10, 15 minutes. Mr. Gore. Um, let's go on. I kind of like the ring of that, Mr. Gore. I actually, for a minute, I changed my name, Zodiac, believe it or not. I changed my name to Sir Gore. But when the Queen died, they took away my night shift, my Sir. So I had to go back and just go for. No, it just no, really. It just happened about the same time I decided to drop it because it's a little obnoxious. Which I'm a little obnoxious, but not that fucking obnoxious. You know what I mean? I'm not, but the Sir Gore. I don't know where I thought I deserved Sir all of a sudden, but it's fucking crazy. It's stupid. Sir Gore's on that. Yeah, man. Yeah, I thought it was cool. Sir. Do you remember that, Eric? All of a sudden, I was Sir Gore. Sir Gore. Yeah. Everybody like, Sir, huh? I was like, yeah, man. I got, Queen gave it to me, dude. And then somehow the timing, right about the same time that she passed, finally after, God, like 100 years or so, she, God, that woman got old. Uh, is when I decided to drop it, so I figured I would say that because it's fit. You leaving me, man? Oh, okay. Good night, man. You leaving, man? You gonna leave, man? So, did you at least enjoy it? Did you? Yeah, I'm sorry you was expecting a watch, man. So I go. So I go. Well, yeah, good 2 to 4 weeks of the circle. Yeah, and I was also I can't remember what else I was doing too. I was also oh, I also changed it for a minute because I wanted to do other films and stuff too, which I still do, and I'm going to. And I do talk about my collection video that I'm getting ready to put together back here. I got like 30 pickups altogether. Some I forgot to do. Um, I for about 2 days I called myself cinephobe, like cinephile. I ain't like that either. So I just had to go back to the old book. Okay, cool. Yeah, like I said, I've been on there 10, 15 minutes and then we'll torment my family and see what they're up to. It's awfully quiet in there, so I think they're unconscious. Yeah, it's still a work in progress. We're putting it together, but it's just, really how polished is it going to be? It's a discussion. You know what I mean? I wish I'd remember to put photos in during the talking stuff. I'm not used to doing that. I'm, I'm like a professional live streamer. I've done over 100 since like October. You know, watch-alongs. I mean, you go back and you count these motherfuckers. There's a lot of, and that's what I did for a long time. And I enjoy it. That's what I enjoy. As long as ain't no dumb shit. Along with it, I enjoy it. Dumb shit, I don't like dumb shit. I don't like, you know what I mean? I want to be happy. I want to be in a good, but doing a favor. And yes, I'm gonna do the 81 video. Yeah, yeah, I'm definitely gonna do it. But things just got really busy there for me. you know. And when I'm not doing these, I'm either making thumbnails or I'm different ideas of things to do. I worked really hard on that trivia for a minute. But then I decided to pull back and do it maybe just once a month rather than every week. But that's better. You know, because I don't want a good thing to get old quick, you know. But yes, I'm going to be doing. That's just the 81 video, because remember the 1980 video was just favorite horror films in general. So the 81 is going to be all, and that's going to be hard. Um, I think, but 1980 was a top 5. I'm not going to be able to do that for you. It's got to be a top 10 with 4 or 5 honorable mentions. You know, it's going to have to be. Well, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's one I was actually pretty proud of. I think I did pretty good on it. I actually put a lot of work into that one. You know, goes to show I can do it. I can put together that kind of content. I just a lot of times that kind of content, you know what I mean. You can come off as, you know what I mean, disingenuous sometimes. Hey, welcome everybody. Things like that. The best of 1980. You know, blah blah blah. Yeah, and then, you know, I try not to do that very, you know, a lot. You know, at the same time, I want to be lively. You know what I mean? Because it's not like doing a live. It's completely different. But I did so many live videos for so long. I got nervous when I uploaded, and I thought that was crazy. Oh, man. No. But yeah, uh, who all out there hasn't seen Torso? Sergio Martino's Torso. Has anyone out there seen it that's still in there? Is anyone of you guys seen it? Or with the count on the chat, there could be 12 in here, there could be 8. You know what I mean? It's always that roundabout, you know, that give or take 2 or 3. So there may be 13, maybe 7. But yeah, I figured you probably hadn't. That's what I was actually going to do during my time in Giallo ship that I did there for this 3 or 4 months. I was going to do Torso. Here, let me show you the cover of it. Now this is the Arrow um, original commissioned art. So this is not the original one. That's the cover of it. Sergio Martino. Yeah. And then but here I can switch around and show you one of the original cover art. Oh. So then you got something like that, which I think that is one of my least favorite. There's several, and that is one of my least favorite original commission art. Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, if you like some of the ones I did, like you know, I did Tenebrae and let me see if there's some that you would like. Tenebrae and man, what ones did I do from here? I didn't do. I ended up doing as many Argento as I wanted. I ended up doing as many of his Giallos because I had already done 2 straight months. I kind of wanted to get past the Italian. But you know, like Tenebrae from Dario Argento. It's along that line, sort of. It's somewhere between a slasher and a whodunit, kind of. Cool, cool. Yeah, yeah. I just wanted to do that. You know, think about it. What I do, all I've been doing, is on Sunday I do the 1 p.m. Sunday matinee. You know, Sunday afternoon matinee, and then Monday night I do the solo watch at 10. And then on Tuesday I do the 11 o'clock watch, you know, with Sean on, you know, for the horror of it show. and that so that was showing everything I did that was live was watch along. So I just want to do something where I can just hold my mouth and talk and discuss shit and just hang out. So yep, take it easy, Russell, man. Have a good night, my friend. Thanks for coming, man. Much love to you always. I will. I'm getting ready to upload a pickups video. Other than that, if you're able to join up Sunday afternoon at 1. It'll be Devil Times 5, which is also known as People Toys, and is also known as Horrible House on the Hill. And it's another creepy kid movie. So there's a bunch of creepy kids in it. It's like a whole gang of them. But it's a really good movie. It really is. It's got a very young. It has about an 8 or a 9-year-old. Well, let me tell you this real quick before we take off, man. I don't remember, goddamn. I don't remember his name. He became a musician and he became a star. What's his fucking name? Hold on. But it's got Sorrel Brook in it that played Boss Hall. Shit, I don't remember his fucking name, man. I don't remember his goddamn name. Hold on. I'm gonna put this up real quick. Devil Time 5, 1974. Here it is. Here to get his cast real quick. You already did it, didn't you? No, later. Leave me alone. Cast. All right, here we go, man. It is Leif Garrett as a child, man. It's Leif Garrett as like an 8 or 9-year-old child. He plays one of the creepy kids. So, okay. Does some or does some recording session. Thank you, man. Yeah. Yeah, man, come through. We have a pretty good time usually. Usually things don't get, too dramatic or too old. He's done pretty good. Yeah, I'm wanting to do the wrestling stream, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it soon. Hopefully we get throw one together here real soon. 'Cause I got a few things I want to talk about with it, so maybe throw together a top 10 or top 5 or something. Maybe along with that too. So see what time is it? Okay. Games up. I'm up there, you piece of shit. Man. Hold on. All right. I'm back to my channel. I don't want to lose it because I won't be able to get back to it, man. All right. Yeah, here I am. Okay. Um, yeah. I figure it's a pretty good combination. Me and JT and since a lot of you guys pretty much go around to our channels anyway, you guys can just make one destination all night. Just listen to us, be horror maniacs, or whatever. But thanks much, you guys. I much appreciate you guys doing this on our pilot show. Trey Canali Rimbalzo, which means 3-channel valves. And I explained why I was told that. But yeah, much appreciate you guys showing up for this one and everything, and being so cool like you guys always are. You know how I feel about it. Absolutely. I want to say thanks to JT. I want to say thanks to Sean. Most of all, thanks to all you guys. I will catch you guys next time, besides the upload of the collection that I'm gonna do, I'll catch you guys Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern time for Devil Times 5. Damn good creepy kid show. Come here for that, and we'll kick ass and have some fun. Cool. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. And I'll see you guys Sunday. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Much love to all of you. And don't forget, I am GoreAphobe and you are not. Yeah, take it easy, Ninja, man.